Hello, what's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Cider Report, finally, I know, right? Back for another stream. So it's not 100% of exactly my setup as I kind of wanted it to be. It will kind of still change and stuff like that, like over time. Like I used to have like a ring light that's up on the wall. I used to have like the soundproofing pads and stuff like that. They'll be coming back. But yeah, for you keen-eyed viewers out there, you will notice that I'm in a different room, and that is because I've moved house. Finally, I know that I was talking about it for quite some time, but yeah, I have finally moved house, and I am just genuinely, I mean, I can't even explain how happy I am. But yeah, look, you know, it's been a rough one. It's been a rough one, but you know, we're here. We're here. The door moved. Exactly, Math Pig. The door moved. I moved. There's a lot of stuff moved. I have my laptop actually there in the corner. I didn't realize you could see that. But that's what the itemized list of things that we have to cover. My cat is in my room here somewhere. I'm not actually 100% sure where he is, but he is around. He's around. Do I miss my mammy? Like, I mean, like, yes and no, you know. Yeah, but like, because like obviously, but like no, like not really, you know, because it's not as if I'm after moving out like on my own, you know. I mean, I have two housemates, like, so, you know, and we're all good, really, really good friends and stuff like that, like, so, yeah, no, it's been and like we were hanging out pretty much all the time anyway, so like it's just kind of a little bit more of that, just a little bit more of that same sort of hanging out, that sort of stuff. It is not a porn stream. It is very blue, I will admit. It is very blue. I might actually try and diffuse that slightly. That's making it a lot better. Okay, that'll do for now until I get the ring light up. That's gonna do, because it was, I will admit, it was very, very blue. But yes, no, so yeah, well, Jesus, I haven't done a stream in a very long time. And I'm very kind of, it's not that I'm out of practice or anything else like that, but you know what I mean. The ramblings are still here. So Mathpig, I sent you a link. If there's anybody else in the live chat who wants a link, absolutely just say so down in the live chat. I'll drop it down there, no problem at all. Yeah, because definitely want to have a chat with some people, because like it's quite frankly, it's just been way too long. I haven't had a chat with anybody from the community. Haven't been going on to Mathpig's channel, haven't been going on to my channel, I haven't streamed in a little while, so yeah, it's just been a very, very long time. But yeah, anyway, look, with those introductions out of the way, could I ever stream properly? I mean, I got by, right? Like, I managed it, but it wasn't ever, I mean, clearly not to the level that Mathpig does. I mean, Jesus, you know, I mean, who amongst us can say that they have done a stream where they block half the fucking camera with a glass of water? And, you know, that's done in their own fucking bedroom. And it's, you know, I mean, there's not an awful lot of us out there that can say that we've done that. But you, Mathpig, you're the different. You looked at those, you listened to those people. You listened to those people saying that, and you were like, no, I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. I will be the one that will purposely fuck up my own stream by blocking off half the camera. And you know what? You have, like, honestly, you have my respect for that, because there's not an awful lot of people that would. You know, it would be recommended against. I don't know if you heard that, but that was a meow. I have no idea where the fuck it came from. There we get one more. He was a special guest. Well, doesn't really matter, does it? The end result is what matters. I said at the time, I wanted to thank them so much, because you can never get away with ridiculing me anymore. Just never. You just really just can't do it. Jeff, I have seen your comment. I am copying a link as we speak. Why is it telling me to sign in to chat on my own fucking stream? That's something that I'm very... What is this? What is this? Go away. Go away. Go away. There we go. Why did that happen? Just, hello, please. And I'm still not in fucking full screen. Oh my god. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Apparently I needed to sign in to fucking comment on my own fucking stream, which is stupid. But, yeah, I'll just send it in here, because I can send it, because I had a clipboard. There you go. There you go. Links in the chat now. So, professional, right? But anyway, even still, MathBay can't fucking judge me, because he didn't do any fucking better. Going to... Why is it not letting me pin the fucking thing? Jesus Christ above. I have to go. How are you, Jeff? Jeff, are you talking? Because I cannot hear... Oh, no.
Hey, how you doing?
I was just going to say, because I could not fucking hear you, which was concerning. First stream back in a while, you know, things are a little bit...
On the StreamYard side of things. Are you muted on the YouTube side of things?
No, I'm not YouTube. No, I'm definitely not muted on the YouTube side of things. I don't know why that would be... Ah. Is that any better?
Yeah, that did it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Well, look at, you know, again, a little bit rusty. How long is it possible to stream silently? I mean, we could give it a go. Don't think it'd be the most entertaining content in the world, but it would be informative. So, where the fuck was I going? Oh yeah, over to my own channel, because apparently I need to do this now just to get my own fucking comment section up, which is stupid. Pop out chat. Biggity boom. There we go. Okay, now I have my chat up next to me. Yeah, so I'm very sorry. Again, rusty. Haven't streamed in a while. But yeah, how are you, Jeff? I haven't spoken to you in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I know it's been hectic for you. I've been just doing my usual thing. I haven't been as active on YouTube in the past couple of weeks, because things have been getting busy here too. So.
Yeah, I've kind of thought that I haven't been getting, because I have the notifications for your channel turned on, and I haven't kind of seen like many of them pop up with, you know, reacting to this Darstalkins video or that target. So like, yeah, I like kind of noticed I hadn't seen that much of you, but
yeah, I did. Yeah, I think I was averaging about 2 a week, at least once a week, and then yeah, the last couple of weeks I've had stuff going on with you know, medical stuff, job stuff has gotten hectic now that, you know, weather's getting warmer over here, so things have just gotten kind of screwy. So yeah, that's kind of taken a hit, but I'm hoping to do. Well, I'm not going to do one tonight. I was over on Speed of Sounds, you know, the Answers in Atheism thing, and jumped over here. So yeah, I probably won't do a live stream tonight, but I'll probably do one tomorrow, because there's some Matt Slick and Darth Dawkins stuff that I'd like to go over. So Saturday afternoon's a good time to do those.
Okay, so are going to. Very, very sorry. No, I have been listening to you. I have been listening to you. Absolutely. It's just that you weren't on screen for pretty much fucking any of that. So, and then when I went over, it's all a little bit fucked. Probably because I plugged out my PC. Probably. I don't know. But we'll get it. We'll get it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There you are, I think. Yes, there you are. You're just very fucking big, and so am I. Very, very big. Very big on screen.
Is this OBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why people are like, why don't you use OBS? I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is why. 'Cause it kind of...
I'm like, because I know people that are infinitely more patient with tech stuff, and they curse and swear over it, and, you know, I have zero patience. Like, if it doesn't work, my first instinct is to crush it with a brick. So
I mean, it's not a bad instinct. You know, it really isn't. So, you know, I can relate.
for me, it's like a customer service thing. Like, as a bureaucrat, like, I understand when people get frustrated because it's like, look, you know, you represent some governing body and you want us to do something, and then when we ask how to do it, you guys have no clear answers. You know, that stuff really, and it ticks me off. I don't like that. It's like, yeah, I know. If somebody has an expectation of you, then they should be able to provide you like a clear way of doing it. And it's like, oh, here's a tool that allows you to do this. Figure it out, and you get it, and it's like, oh wow, what a janky piece of over-engineered or under-engineered shit. You know, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like yeah. It was definitely it was a learning curve for me for sure. But you know, we got there in the end. I think MathPig would say otherwise, but I got there. So yeah, no, it's just been quite some time, and yeah, I like definitely do kind of relate to what you said there about like job stuff. I have once again changed jobs because why the fuck not? Yeah, I'm the assistant manager in a cinema now. So happy days, earning that big boy money, you know? Got to make bank. So yeah, no, like it definitely has been, you know, and like with any kind of new job, you know, inevitably there comes like new stresses and new whatever, and there's a new learning curve and whatever. So yeah, definitely has been a little bit Cider and Spatchcock, the Ant and Deck of YouTube. Love it. Sure, you know, hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Those two are legends. So if that's what you know, if that's who you're comparing us to, come on.
Who I gotta confess, who are Ant and Deck?
Oh, you're American. Jesus fucking Christ. I was... okay. Wow. I was just like, how in the fuck are we having this conversation right now? How do you not know who Ant and Deck are? Ant and Deck, they've done... like, have you even seen clips of, like, Britain's Got Talent or anything else like that?
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Well, I don't like the American version of that.
They host that show. They've done, like... fuck, man, they've done like game shows, they've done talent shows, they had like a short-lived music career. They've been in the entertainment industry for like decades, basically. Since like I think the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, roughly around that time. So yeah, and they have been best friends since like they were kids. Like they basically grew up together, like yeah. So it's like super, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, no, you just said who we're at, and that just caught me way the fuck off guard. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do like. I don't think I could be considered an Anglophile, but I like a lot of stuff from England, Scotland, and Ireland. Yeah, I don't know. I know some pop culture. Like I know who Richard Ayoade is.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
You know, Matt Berry. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
But my taste, I mean, my exposure to to you guys' pop culture is pretty fractured. So.
Yeah, I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily. Because yeah, like I don't know, our pop culture stuff, like I kind of think like leans very, very heavily from your guys's. Like you guys had the Jersey Shore, and then we had Geordie Shore, or like Towie. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, we just kind of copy you guys with that sort of like reality TV, like garbage cultural shit, you know.
Is there a difference though between like I mean, because I would imagine like it's got maybe it's a little bit different over on your island, but like it seems like there's a bigger interest overall in kind of celebrities and sort of tabloid stuff in the UK. Is it the same in Ireland too? That kind of like
You see, not really, because Ireland doesn't have very many of its own kind of like homegrown celebrities.
okay.
And you know, some of the ones that we do have, little bit questionable, shall we say? You know, like there was the whole, I mean, there was the whole racism stuff with Liam Neeson.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, there was that. You know, there was what's his face from fucking Jamie Dornan. I mean, like he acts like a cardboard box. So you know, I mean, like there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing really great to kind of aspire to. You know.
I'm trying to figure out the Jamie Dornan fascination. Like I don't get it because like I don't dislike him. He seems like kind of like in interviews and stuff in real life. He seems like he's kind of nervous, but
Yeah.
he just doesn't seem very charismatic, which I find is kind of odd because like he's this big deal as far as like an Irish export over here in the U.S. But it's like, yeah, but he doesn't have like it, you know. And at most, I mean, and it's a massive stereotype, but Irish people generally have a pretty good gift for gab, you know.
I mean, it
If
is a
they're not,
stereotype, but it's a stereotype for a reason, though. Like, right?
yeah, I mean, if they're
You know?
if you guys aren't like super charismatic or super outgoing, you're at least usually pretty quick-witted, pretty good with a joke, you know, pretty good with a conversation. Even if they're if it's somebody who's normally kind of an introvert or something. I haven't really run into anybody like super awkward, except for Jamie Dornan, who seems like exactly like if somebody was like, have you ever met a socially awkward Irishman? I'm like, no, but I know of one who has a pretty promising film career. Like he's the only one I can think of that's pretty fucking awkward. I mean, there's Liam Neeson making like the old man comments, which are just like, dude, you're saying some things out loud your publicist is going to be calling you out on.
Yeah, you know, there was probably a conversation. There was probably a lengthy conversation there after some of that. But
I
yeah,
don't feel bad about it because given his age, you know, it's one of those things where it's like there's plenty of celebrities here that have walked into that stuff too, that have just said, I mean, hell, I think even Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, you know, guys like that have kind of like made some comments over the last few years of just like maybe try to catch up, engage with some more modern stuff in the culture because you might be a little out of step.
yeah, yeah. I mean, technically speaking, Jimmy Carr is Irish. He's a plastic paddy. So he was born in Ireland and he had an Irish passport, but he was just raised in the UK. So he's one. You have Dara O'Brien as well. Two very, very funny comedians. So
I don't know that. I don't know the second one. I know Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr is funny, if a bit corny.
Yeah, Dara O'Brien hosts Mock the Week. It's like a spoof on like the news stories of the week sort of thing. It's like a comedy panel. Like he has like all comedians on it. It's actually very, very funny. There's clips of it all over the on YouTube. You should
I should check that out.
Yeah. But
I do kind of like the couple that Jimmy Carr does the big quiz about everything or whatever.
Yeah.
As long as Richard Ayoade is on there, like if he's on there, yes, please.
He makes it. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, content. That's why we're here. That's why I've been live for the last 22 minutes. So yeah, I'll be kind of going back in time for some of this and then kind of like progressively working our way forward up until the kind of like most recent news. So the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial has been going on, and
has it ever?
I have basically trained my TikTok algorithm to give me 90% clips of that trial. So like every time I open TikTok, there's just a new thing. So yeah, I haven't seen any of like the full length like days. Like I know there's streams of it up like 4 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours. I even think one of them was.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of those, but I've seen like I've seen the kind of like important bits, right? Because like the stream is going to include everybody kind of getting in and sitting down and rising for the judge and all that sort of stuff. And if there's any sort of intermissions or anything else like that, it's going to include all that because it's a stream. But obviously any of the clips, that's kind of edited out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen like the important bits. Well, look, I obviously know what my position is and what my take on it is. What's yours, Jeff?
Yeah, so when this stuff started going down back when his lawsuits and stuff were happening in England, I didn't know about I didn't pay attention to it. It was one of those things that kind of came out, with like the Me Too movement where it's like, you kept hearing about like this kind of stuff, and it's just like, oh well, that sucks. That's that. I mean, if it was a celebrity you didn't like, you're like, I knew it. But when it was like Johnny Depp, like I'm not a huge fan of Johnny Depp, but I've liked quite a bit of stuff that he's in. I always kind of thought like, yeah, he might be kind of interesting to talk to in real life, but I was like, well, that sucks that's happening. Maybe that is real. If there's allegations of domestic abuse going on, it's like, well, I generally will be like, well, what kind of, does she have a point? So I really didn't weigh in on it that much. I had friends and family that were like decidedly like team Johnny Depp or team Amber Heard, mostly team Johnny Depp, and I'm like, I really don't know. I don't care. This one though, the fact that he got this on TV, I think was a masterstroke. I mean, that was the best bit of luck for him, because it really has made her look bad, and it's made him look marginally better, mostly because her lawyers seem to be pursuing a strategy of, look, if we remind the jury and everybody watching this, which is a lot of people, that Johnny Depp is an eccentric drunk, we can make the direct connection that eccentric drunk equals violent monster. And it's just like, I really don't think that's a good strategy. I don't think that's effective at all. And it doesn't seem to be working. But yeah, I mean, some of the inconsistencies between both their stories and stuff, it's like, I wouldn't say that I'm one side or the other, but I would say, as far as like, given that the last two cases in England, I think, were decided against him when he sued the Sun, this one, I don't know where the jury is going to go with this one, but I think it is having the effect that he wanted, where he wanted this out there. He wanted people to see her and see him in this very public kind of legal confrontation, with a judge as an arbiter. And I think for whatever that's worth, I think he's getting his publicity's worth.
Yeah, so I was look, at the very, very start, I mean, I've done a literal debate on Me Too, right? Like I started off very kind of disappointed. I'm not going to say that Johnny Depp was like, a childhood hero or anything else like that. Because he just wasn't. I absolutely so when the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out, I was kind of, late prepubescent, early teenager, like that kind of like age range. And I fucking loved those. Well, the first three. The fourth and fifth was a little bit but the first three, like absolutely like fucking chef's kiss, like just fantastic. And yeah, I just loved the character that he played in you know what I mean, like it's sort of like in the way that like people nowadays will say, oh well, nobody else could have played Tony Stark other than RDJ, right? Like nobody else could have played him, right? Like a lot of but like the like original Avengers, there's very few people that you could say, well, if Chris Evans hadn't have taken up Captain America, well, so and so could have done it was like they were cast perfectly, and I just think that there's just nobody else that can do Jack Sparrow in the same way that Johnny Depp does. I just don't think that I just don't think that there is. And that, I kind of just think like deserves respect, if nothing else. If you can literally kind of like grasp to that level a character that nobody else can do it other than you, you've done something right. I fucking loved him in Sweeney Todd, like that was like just fantastic. There's just a lot of movies of his that I have loved, and so like when it kind of came out first, I was like, fuck, like that was kind of like my like main reaction to it. But then when more kind of stuff started coming out, and it was actually even I think it was shortly before the actual trial began, where there was the audio recording of Amber admitting to hitting him, went kind of viral on like Twitter, on YouTube, on like a few different places.
Yeah.
That I was like, well, I mean, that's kind of pretty much it, right? Case closed. Because that's what Johnny was suing her over. He was suing, no, I didn't hit you, you hit me. There has been like fucking so far, and obviously this is a court of law. This is the time and place that you would bring this shit up. There has been no evidence that I have seen so far that would indicate that Johnny Depp has been abusive, but there is a fuck ton to say that Amber has been abusive towards him. So yeah, I didn't necessarily do like a complete kind of 180. I heard about it back when it was kind of, starting, and the court case that was in England. But, in the kind of lead up to this one is when I kind of really kind of got like invested, we'll say. And so yeah, so it was just it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, to kind of go from kind of automatically believing Amber, because that's just my kind of first instinct. But yeah, no, I am 100% team Johnny in the entire way. Like I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, that's not a surprise, but. Yeah, I am 100% team Johnny.
Yeah, yeah. For me, like usually, I mean, especially even with the celebrities, and with the celebrities, I'd probably provide more of a grain of salt. But that's usually the fastest way. I'm gonna direct a stink eye at a guy, is if whoever he's dating or married to is like, yeah, he hits me. It's like, is that true? It better fucking not be. And then, like, no, that's not true. Actually, she does X, Y, like, and it's like, okay, that does sound plausible. Then she gets the stink eye, like, okay, I don't know which one of you to believe. You might both be, dirt bags. Like, where do we go here from here? With some of this stuff, like I mean, it's been kind of weird, because there's certain things about, like, I mean, I certainly wouldn't live the way that. Well, I don't know that I wouldn't live the way Johnny Depp has lived. I didn't have that much success with that much money, and that kind of access to the kinds of crazy circle of friends that he's had. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, the whole thing is kind of unfortunate. It'll be interesting to see like how this plays out, because I think like ultimately he's trying to shoot for. I want to win in the court of public appeal. That's where he really wants to win this. That's like, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him back working, though, because there's always a cloud over this whole thing. But at the same time, there has been a lot that's come out about her, just through the testimonies and expert testimonies and cross examinations, where
Yeah.
she is really not. It is not looking good for her. So
Yeah,
who knows?
I mean, yeah, there has been quite a lot that's obviously after kind of coming out about her, and yeah, it just has been, it's yeah, it's been a journey. But I mean, like, there's some stuff, and it's kind of like, even like before the trial commenced, there was kind of rumors going around that Amber's parents were on Johnny's side. Like, that's not like, banging your gavel, nailing the coffin, case closed, but there's something to be kind of said there. There's something to be said there, right?
Well, and anybody that has close friends or family that have been in abusive relationships, I've known a few people. One of the things that the abusers do is try to isolate the spouse or whatever that they're abusing from their family, and he had places for them to live so that they could be closer to him and Amber. That seems to kind of that seems to be a big clash with what the way that most abusers tend to work. They tend to isolate things so that they can and it makes sense. It's a way that you can gaslight more efficiently, and he didn't seem to be doing that. And I'm like that. That was actually the first one. That was the first one that gave me doubt, because when I first heard about it, I'm like, I don't care. If it turns out that she's exaggerating or lying, I don't know. Maybe he is really a dirtbag. I'm totally prepared for this to go, either way. But I was more prepared. Like, it sounds to me like maybe there's some truth to it. And that was the first bit. That was the first little anecdote. When I heard that, I was like, that doesn't add up. I'm like, he did what now? And he's like, yeah, he had a penthouse. Moved her parents into it so that they could all be closer together out there in LA. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't square. So
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and they were telling him like, oh yeah, no, sorry Johnny, we know this is getting ugly and everything, but the only reason that she got that PP, the personal protective order, the restraining order against you, is because she thought you were going to kick her out of the penthouse. And it's
yeah.
like, okay, and they can corroborate that. Like, her parents were telling him that, so it's like, yeah, something's weird.
Yeah, there definitely has been. Yeah, there has been definitely just like a lot of just like really really like weird stuff that's kind of come out about this. I mean, the like kind of biggest revelation, or like the biggest kind of and the most disgusting thing for me is the fact that she found it appropriate to take a shit on his bed.
Yeah, that one didn't actually bother me that much, which I don't know why, but like that's one of those tales where it's like, I don't know if I believe that one either way, because I think her defense has been like, well, maybe it was like a dog turd, and I'm like, okay, that only makes it marginally better, right? Taking one of your dog's poos and placing it in your bed is still fucked up, right? Now
Yeah.
dropping trow and dumping on your own bed, that's is slightly weirder, but any kind of passive aggressive fecal related threat is just a strange move. And isn't that her only defense right now? Like, no, that's not my crap. That's the dog's crap.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had heard something like that. Yeah, that it like was pretty much just like her only defense. Yeah, or that like that was like her main defense anyway. Was that, yeah, that like it wasn't hers, it was her dog's, which is just why. I mean, because it's just one of those things. Like, it's like even if it was like just the process of that, like
Well, and bear in mind
you
too,
would.
he wasn't at the place, right? She had left, according to the story. She left and went to Coachella. He wasn't even there. They were kind of in separate, maybe not separate places all the time, but he had left too, so he wasn't around. He was called, and the guy that called him said that there was a shit in the bed. So something about that situation like, now if you work for facilities or you do maintenance on buildings or something like that, and the people have pets, you can find animal poop in some strange places, especially if you got people bouncing in and out, like their main owners bouncing in and out all the time. She was taken off for the weekend with friends for an extended stay away. God knows where the dog went, maybe with her. But you'd see something like that. This person sees this and doesn't think, oh, the dog took a dump on their bed. He calls him, calls Johnny Depp and tells him, there's a shit in your bed. Like, so clearly they were suspicious about it too.
Yeah, I mean, I can only kind of look. The last kind of thing that I will kind of say on that specific thing is that has to be one of the weirdest phone calls that you or I or anybody else can get in their fucking lives, right? You get a call off of one of your mates just going like, "Listen, man, I don't really know how to tell you this, but there's a shit in your bed." I you know, it's a bit bizarre.
It's it's yeah. I don't want to be the one to break this news to you, but there's shit in your bed.
But I kind of feel like it's probably something you should know. There is poo where you lay your head at night. But yeah, look, it's I'm very very sorry. By the way, I'm trying to plug in my fan because it is hot as fuck in here, and I'm trying to do it whilst talking at the same time, and it's not really working out very well.
No worries. Yeah, I need to take steps here. My apartment is getting kind of toasty too.
No, it's just the main problem for me is that. Oh, wish no. Sorry, no. I was just trying to reach at like one of the USB ports at the back of my PC without fucking looking for it. So it was proving very difficult, but we have
Oh,
managed it now.
totally off topic, but just a quick update. One of the last things I remember talking to you about was the fact that, because I was quite envious of the fact that you had a PlayStation 5, and
Yes.
I don't know if this news deserves a congratulations or condolences from you, but I did get an Xbox X. I was able to pick that up. I bought that just 2 weeks ago. Sounds like more condolences from that side.
Yeah. 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 Well, look, we all have our preferences, and you know, I'm not going to agree with every single one of your preferences. You're not going to agree with every single one of mine. So there we go.
I like cheddar. You like Swiss. I'm not saying
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
it's not that cheddar's the best. It's just that you're wrong.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
That's
But
fine. Now,
yeah.
I mean, the shortage is still very real here. There is no end in sight as far as the PlayStation 5 went. There was a local shop that had one of these, and I started looking at the lineup of different stuff that I kind of wanted to play. Most of my stuff is kind of mainstream anyway, with the exception of a few other things. And I was like, you know what? And they were basically selling it for retail. It was higher because you can't get anything for exactly retail anymore in that realm. It seems like. So I did pay a little extra for it, but I didn't pay like what you go online and look for one, and it's like $1,200-$1,300 or something stupid like that. And I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna pay that
Literally
for either of
something
them.
absolutely ridiculous like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I found this one and it was like $50 over MSRP, and I'm like, you know what? At that rate, I can
That's not
afford to get
bad.
it.
That's not
So I
bad.
was like, I'm gonna get it. So I grabbed it, and then yeah, I've only got a couple of games from Japan that I like, but they're not, you know, they're like, they're the Judgment games. They're guilty pleasures of mine.
Yeah.
But
No. We all have our guilty pleasures. Um. So yeah, I think Beck is on the way.
okay.
I think so. He had said that he was going to kind of see what was going on here first, and then possibly jump in. So we
I
shall
don't
see
know.
what's.
I don't know that I've ever spoken to Beck.
B. He was known by before.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
gonna say yeah. He's been in the community for some time.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. He changed. Oh, I should have noticed. Yeah. The damn screen resolution is too small. Yeah. Okay. No, I recognize the avatar. Yeah. I'm used to still being B, just B.
yeah.
Not Uncle Beck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he should be on his way. Yeah, it's what was I going to say? Yeah, look, okay, Johnny Depp. I'm back in the room. Um, I just think that like if the trial like I've seen a lot of really like just bad arguments online and just like a whole lot of really bad takes where like I saw one person and it was like I don't know if I've ever seen a man this invested in a domestic violence case before. And it's like, yes, but there's a reason for that. And it's because this shit does happen to men too. Men typically don't speak out against it because it's kind of seen as like, weak or something to be looked down upon. And something that you should be ashamed of, etc., etc., etc. And just the fact, I mean, even in the same leaked audio tapes that Amber was talking in, she had said that go ahead, Johnny, say it and see who believes Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim of domestic violence. Like, she literally kind of involved, what I mean? She did the thing that like men are kind of afraid of, essentially, is of talking about this publicly and kind of saying yes that I too am a victim, um, and it's she's kind of like reinforcing that kind of stereotype, and it's just I don't necessarily think that Johnny has kind of positioned himself as like this voice of or like the face of Me Too in like a different type of a way. I don't necessarily think that he's done that, but you know, I can imagine that like it's for other male victims of domestic violence. I can't help but understand why he would be kind of a little bit of like a beacon for them, maybe, right?
Yep.
Or something like that. Hello, Uncle Beck. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm just chilling. I just got back from a long trip to New York and back, and I have a 3-day weekend, so I'm just hanging out.
Lovely.
Hanging out. How you doing, Jefferson?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Beck?
Oh, I'm good, buddy. Did I mess you up changing my name? I heard that.
I'm a goober. I didn't recognize. I should have recognized the avatar because I've seen it before. But yeah, I was like, wait.
Well,
like,
I did tweak the avatar a little bit too. I gave myself a beard, which
I
wish
did
I
see
had.
that. Yeah.
And
well, no, hang on, because
wishful
I've
thinking,
seen some of your TikToks. I can see a little bit of a beard coming in. Don't be too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is definitely coming
it's
in.
coming.
It is definitely coming in.
Yeah. Well, I actually shaved my mustache off because I was hoping it would come in a little darker because it worked for my chin because everything was coming in blonde. But yeah, so blondish gray. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean,
I ordered some hair dye because the beginning of this, I'm going to dye it because I want to be able to see my fucking hair because it's so fucking blonde and gray. So.
well, no. Well, look,
After
I mean,
it comes
like,
thick, I'll stop doing it.
I think that me, Jeff, and pretty much every other guy in the live chat or who was going to watch this afterwards can relate exactly to what you're talking about. In the early stages of male puberty, that's what it was like. It was blonde. It was thin. It was fair. It was, it wasn't
like,
very
son
nice.
Of a bitch, would you just grow in already?
Exactly.
That's right.
But give it another couple of years and you'll have something that'll rival mine. Don't be worrying about it.
Shit, motherfucker! I'm gonna up my testosterone tomorrow. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
you're also gonna need to budget anywhere from $100 to $200 worth of like I would have to do this about $150 a month in beard care products because my beard is spatchy as fuck. So
well, I actually bought a kit, and it's got all the beard care stuff in it, and it also has growth serum that I can use now. So I just bought a kit on Amazon. It should be in the mail this week, and I'm gonna start. It's mostly just my mustache. That's the bitch that kills all the trans guys. The mustache. Trying to get the mustache to come in. I actually know a guy that's been on it for like shit. I think it's only been like 13 months, and he's got a serious stash coming in, and everybody's fucking jealous. Like there's one of us.
that was one thing I could say. Like going through puberty, when my beard came in, it was kind of splotchy. It was kind of fair. But I early on, I think I was about 16, and I knew it. I had the Ron Swanson mustache. I had the capacity for that. So, and I don't. That's the worst for me. That's the worst part. Like I don't want that under my nose. I have allergies. That's all kinds of high maintenance. Like that's not cool. So what I wanted was like to be able to grow the full face mask. The burly beard. I still can't quite get. I can get a hell of a neck. A neck strap going. But that's
neck straps are like that's where the trans guys live is the neck strap.
And that's just and it's so gross.
And I just refuse to do it. First of all, like my son's got that going on, and it's coming up over the edge of his jawline a little bit, and then up above that, it's really thin for him, which is weird because he was shaving like every day before he started taking testosterone. But from that edge, like what Steven has, just a little lower down onto his chin, onto his jawline, all the way around, and it's like 3 inches, and it's thicker than Steven's. It's crazy. Yeah. And he's only been on it he's going on, he's at like 2.5 years now.
Shit.
And he's had that beard for over a year. Yeah.
Fuck, that's
Yeah.
really good.
I know. He got like the beard genes in the family. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
definitely.
But everybody, all my brothers have beards.
Yeah,
Like Richard's
yeah.
not the only one.
Wow.
All of my brothers have beards. They
Well,
all,
I mean, to be fair, Richard has
brother
a
Keel
majestic
shaved.
beard. He has
Richard
like,
was-
Oh, yeah.
like it's
Oh,
majestic.
you should see my
you know?
brother Bruce's. It's amazing. It's he's got the Greek wave in it.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's black with streaks of dark gray and white, random streaks of white hair. So it looks bad. It is like
Did you say-
epic, dude.
Did you say his name was? Did you say his name was Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah.
So Richard has a beard. Bruce has the beard.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, then there's Walt. Walt's got a killer beard like Richard's, except his is dark. His is dark brown, almost black,
Yeah,
with
'cause
the gray things in it. But
I don't-
the style is the same as Richard's. It's basically the same beard, just a little shorter. But Bruce's has that like thick wave. It doesn't go out to the sides thing. Like the motherfucker's got to comb it, you know. Yeah, like, hi, beautiful.
I was just gonna
Somebody
say
looks
hi,
fucking
Bree.
Cute today.
My God, yeah, I haven't seen you in so long. You look completely You look really, really good. But like, you look,
I can't
yeah.
see right now, but thank you. I like thought one of my glasses. I left them upstairs. I'm just being lazy. But good evening,
So I can't
everybody.
see shit, but I look good.
Yeah, about the.
I would say, Bree, that you should get contacts because those glasses hide how beautiful your eyes are, and you really do have pretty eyes.
True.
Thank you.
Yeah. True.
So you should get some contacts, ditch the glasses.
The pink makes my eyes look brighter too, though. So that's
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Looks good on you.
There's the green.
From what I know about makeup.
Yeah. Which I'm learning as I go. I used to be gothy. That was my excuse to wear makeup when I was a teenager. I was like, I'm just being gothy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I when I first came out, I'd wear like really pale makeup and stuff, just because that's what I was used to. I'm like, okay, you look for a complexion about 2 tones paler than your natural complexion. That's what you go with. No. So we live and learn.
Yeah.
Right.
So we've 2 more people on the panel, and we were just talking about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Have you guys been following it? Do you have thoughts?
I have.
Are they
not.
spicy? Are they spicy?
Mine's gonna be short, so I'll speak first and then let Bree go, and because Bree's way more intelligent than I am. Anyways, I have not been necessarily keeping up. I've caught little snippets here and there on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff, and
Yeah.
And you're right, Stephen. It's a stigma that only women get abused and men don't get abused and shit. It's bullshit. I saw it myself. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know, dozens and dozens of times in my life at all the different places I've lived, and I've known of women beating on their husbands and their husbands, coming home every day with their dick tucked between their legs and ready to get beat again. So no, it happens, and it's. Crimes aren't just against women. And yes, it happens more often. Yes, women are abused more often, women are raped more often, women are all those things more often. But it does happen to men too. So.
Yeah. I was actually in my previous marriage, I was abused. Not, I mean, looking back at it now, I was, yes, I was abused, but back at that time, it was like, oh, she's just being blah blah blah. But then I married my my current spouse, and it's nothing like that. She doesn't get mad and want to get physical all the time. It's a relief.
Oh gosh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, I've dated some women that wanted to like get up in my face when they were mad, but if I put a hand up to defend myself, they'd scream.
Right.
And I identified female back then. So just, I already had these arms. So I freaked them out or whatever. But, the bottom line is if we're all adults, and if you're going to jump in someone's face and threaten them, you have to at least expect self-defense. I'm not going to let you just hit me in the face. Like that shit.
Yeah.
So
there's the point when you get into this, when you move into someone's personal space, it's like, you're at that point, you're you're wanting me to have a self defense reaction to move to defend myself and keep you away from my vitals,
Right.
you know.
Right. Exactly.
But uh, I try to mostly be just a non-violent person. I don't know. Violence kind of makes me a little nauseous.
It's my goal.
I don't mind violent choreography, like in movies and stuff. But
I get.
actual
Oh, sorry. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, it's just the actual violence in the real world, kind of. Yeah, I'm not into that. Not my scene.
Yeah.
I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I don't. I've always been fascinated with violence, but for myself, like I'm not gonna engage in like the direct, like Wild West American style violence. Like it's like, I'm going to try to have a conversation. I'm going to collect information about this individual. I'm going to tally up all the ways that they've offended me, and I'm going to find a way to get even. In a roundabout way. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna pull the wheels off your life later. Yeah.
You'll live
Yeah,
to
I've been trying to
regret it.
decide how to do that to my ex because she fucked me over so hard. I'm trying to figure out how to like poke at her without ruining her life. I could ruin her life.
I'll be right back.
Literally. So, but that's because she was my boss and we were having sex. So, and that's in this state, it's rape. So I could get her for something serious, but I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to ruin her life, but I would love to smack her hand and get her fucking attention, get her realize what the fuck she did. So, anyways,
Yeah, look, like just to kind of continue, as I was saying there, Aaron, as you mentioned, Beck, yeah, it's just that like this shit does happen to men as well. I'm lucky enough to say that it hasn't happened to me, but I don't personally know of anybody who has been, of a guy who has been in a physically abusive relationship, but it would be almost ridiculous to say that it hasn't happened, right? It's just, we know that men are violent, but we also know that women are violent as well, and
we're all animal based. We all have violent tendencies.
Exactly, and when you put that in like a relationship, and whether it's high stress or low stress, it doesn't actually, like, that bit doesn't mean that much. But yeah, it's just like when you put it into that sort of a context, like it's just ridiculous to say that it couldn't happen the other way as well, right? So yeah, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I just think that it's very, very important what Johnny is doing, and the fact that he's putting himself out there, and he is putting himself right in the like very, very center of the public eye, and he's saying yes that this happened to me as well, and
yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's yeah, it is super, super, super important. It's important to encourage every single woman who is the victim of this to come forward and to speak out as well. But it's also very, very important to encourage all men who are the victim of this to also come forward and speak out. So yeah, I mean, I've gotten in Twitter arguments with people who have. There was one particular person who was like, are all of the Johnny stands going to apologize for their treatment of Amber once this whole thing is over and stuff like this? And I'm just like, I got into like a serious back and forth with this person, and I mean, I had said stuff like, I mean, like, you clearly haven't been watching the trial, because if you have and you're still on Amber Heard's side, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with you, like why you're not seeing the exact same thing I'm seeing, because I'm watching the same trial as you, I'm watching the same information as you, I'm looking at the same clips you are, and yet we're both getting completely different views.
Because they're too biased. They're biased
exactly
with their own opinion. They're not being objective about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or unobjective rather. They're choosing they pre-chose the side before they start watching it, man.
Yeah.
People like that, they already pre-chose it.
Yeah. But it's just. But I mean, even as I was saying at the start of the topic, like I had kind of not automatically sided with Amber, but I was pretty much kind of neutral and did kind of lean towards believing Amber at the start. But then, I mean, the evidence is there. It speaks for itself. The evidence convinced me that she's not innocent, that she is guilty. So
Right.
I guess it's just kind of frustrating for me in the sense that, I came from the side of believing Amber as well. And yet I let the evidence speak for itself and change my mind. So it's just kind of a little bit frustrating that it didn't change yours as well, because we're all looking at the same information, so
Right.
you can choose to believe the evidence and to follow the evidence where it leads, or you can choose to just kind of sit in your bubble and be like, no, I'm just going to believe Amber anyway. I mean, you can do that if you want to, I guess, but
You should poll those people and see how many of them identify as Christian.
yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
it'd be
There's lots of correlations. I see it all the time. Lots of correlations to Christianity when it comes to topics like this.
I actually it's interesting that you mentioned that, Beck, because I was just reading a thing from 538 on a dividing line over abortion issues, and they had an interesting breakdown, a survey that was done. I can't remember what group did it, but it basically essentially showed, like, if you ask this set of questions to religiously affiliated people and they answer yes or no, positive or negative, and usually positive indicating that they're more Christian than not, that directly correlates with there's a direct correlation between their attitudes about women and women's roles and what motherhood is and how they feel about abortion. Like it's all
Oh yeah, it's all
so,
connected. That's why I knew it would be connected on this. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. But you see, those are the people that are coming in pre-biased because they're not skeptic. They automatically think that what they've been told is right, so that led them in this direction, and now they're in that direction. And they've also been told that, men are in charge, and a lot of Christian women get abused. So
Biblical
why wouldn't
gender
they
roles
think?
is the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I was going there too. Why wouldn't they think that woman got abused?
Yeah.
Well, I
There's lots of different ways to look at that bias.
was just shared something about that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah, it was in.
Sorry, I'm just a little bit mesmerized by the little creature on your mic
I
there.
know, he's just dancing,
he's just having a good time.
He's dancing. He's like, I
always have a little creature. Don't you guys know that? Here,
Ew,
Let's-
what is
Is it a
let's
this?
look at this.
salsa or is that a waltz?
this will be a good thing to look at considering the topic we just brought up here. Just a moment.
Also, Bray's side note, I got some bugs that are popping up out of a windowsill. I need to consult with you later because I need to figure out what they are. Because if they're termites, I might need to kill them with fire.
Yeah, well, that's probably not a good idea inside your house, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, Jeff.
See, it's common sense. It's common sense solutions like that's why I turn to you, Bray.
Yes. All right. So. Check
Oh
this
my
out.
God! What site is this?
This is biblicalgenderroles.com.
Oh, they've got a whole site.
They have
Biblical
they
case
have a whole
with
website.
domestic discipline. Yes. God's chastening of his wife, the nation of Israel, is an example to all husbands.
That image is not helping my Leave It to Beaver kink. I'm just going to say right now. Like,
Oh God.
You like June Cleaver over your knee like that?
no, I want to. Never mind.
No, it's Ward.
Oh. Again, I'm not telling anybody
He
how to
wants
live their
Ward to
life.
spank him like that. That's
paddle me, Ward.
Yeah, this is gross, right? Someone shared this on Twitter earlier, and I was like, "Oh my god!" This is not from like 2007 or something. This is
2020. Yeah. The biblical case.
Domestic discipline?
Jeez.
Why
This
on
is
earth-
basically how to use the Bible to get away with spousal abuse is what this is.
Why would you
Lovely.
paddle your wife like? Well, I mean, if they're into child brides, I guess you might have to. If you're a
Yeah, you might have to
52-year-old
spank
guy
them
with
like
a
that.
16-year-old, damn it, wife, you're just
Yeah.
supposed to you're supposed to make me muffins and coffee and produce kids.
Does it mention Tennessee in this?
Suck
though?
my dick whenever I want. Don't forget that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you owe me
that's
sex
a
because
that's a
we,
big one.
we have this agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
A wife's guide to receiving Christian domestic discipline and rough sex. Look at that.
You
right
attempt
there.
to do
What?
this with a wife who rejects the principle of Christian domestic discipline,
When
you
it
could
says-
land in jail.
when
Yeah,
it
because
says-
it's abuse, you asshole.
We all know what this means, right? I mean, there's no misgivings about what they mean by this, right? It's not talking about S&M.
A wife's
No.
It says a wife's guide to receiving Christian domestic discipline and rough sex.
Why would
Oh
rough
my
sex
God.
be lumped in with domestic discipline? The fact that they're putting them together is already
Yeah,
highly problematic.
It's-
They're just
yeah,
leaving
it's
up
pretty
that it's okay
red
to rape your
flaggy.
wife.
She's
That's
saying
all it is.
no is what rough sex means. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say the R word
I mean,
on.
that's just
Steven.
non-consensual.
Yeah, you
And
said it.
No, this group believes that the marriage, that consenting to marriage,
always therefore
sexual-
consenting to sex like at
Right.
all times in all
Whenever-
places. Yeah. Okay.
that's what and that's what you're going to get when you read through this, because although the law doesn't recognize it as that, there's such thing as marital rape. It's a real thing, but
Yeah.
the Bible does not recognize marital rape. They'll use biblical passages and references to Israelite history and things like that to make their case. And it talks about husbands beating their wives here and all that stuff. It's gross.
Who owns that domain?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's go all the way down to the bottom and look. Is it going to be past the comments there? Let's see.
I bet the comments are real knee slappers.
Oh yeah, I'd say they're what's the wholesome Christian content right there. Nothing.
Oh, yeah,
Nothing
man.
sussy. Nothing to look at here.
No, everything's fine. It's fine to.
And look, what do
beat
you want
your
to bet
wife,
that most of
discipline
these are
her
from
physically, and do the R word. Yep.
most of these are from women. I guarantee it, or women bots. I don't know, but husbands should be in control of the house. Quoting Hebrews, of course. It's always Hebrews, isn't it?
Hebrews aren't, it's
because Hebrews has Israelite laws, right? I mean, that's what's in there. That section is a law book, right?
Well, I mean, technically, five of them are, but God, Hebrews, Numbers, Second Kings, and First and Second Samuel are like some of the worst books. Like, those are the ones that you just take those as a collection and give those to a newborn Christian. Like, oh, you think you're a Christian? Mainline this stuff and then get back to me. And they're like, oh, I can do what to who now?
Don't
exactly.
leave out Leviticus when you do that.
Well, I feel like Leviticus has some things in it that make some things sound better than they are.
Yeah, if you read the King James version, especially, right?
But Deuteronomy and Leviticus kind of soften up a few things, but Hebrews, Hebrews is bad.
Ooh, I get the spanking is best way to discipline because it doesn't do much harm, leaving visible bruises or causing cuts. So it's about leaving evidence. She's talking about leaving evidence. But the issue here that makes me untrust is, what if a man punches his wife in the face or hits her with something in the head or that should not be something Carly's having to worry about in her biblical marriage, right? I mean, is that? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring everybody down.
No.
I just wanted to
all
share this
good.
with you guys. I'm trying to see whose domain it is for.
It's always interesting when somebody shows you one of those websites available on the internet. It's the equivalent of opening the box at the end of 7.
Yes.
Oh God.
Just this little what I don't know. Would you call this a meme? Just that in and of itself that's just gross, right? Is
It's
it just me? That's like
it's stupid. It's ignorant. It's backward. Gross.
archaic.
It's not. I don't even know. Like even for like archaic people, like I'm sure you could show it like if you could show it without being accused of witchcraft, like the people 300 years ago. Certain cultures look at that and be like, "What the fuck are you all about with this? Like, what is this shit? Like, we don't paddle our wives here."
Yeah. I'm not into corporal punishment at all for kids or.
This is when I start thinking that actually fundamentalist Christians, especially the American kind, actually do believe in evolution because they're trying to impose these rules to get people to evolve this way.
There's a whole bunch of grossness over here. Look at some stuff on socialism. I know Stephen would probably love reading that.
God damn.
I bet their texts
Goddamn.
on socialism are red hot.
I'm gonna drop this in the private chat. You know what? I'm gonna drop it in the live chat too. People go out here and see how fast I take our comments down if y'all want to.
Make sure you thank Bree for that rich helping of sadness from the internet. Oh man,
Right.
I want to find who owns that domain and just question their priorities. What are you doing? My guess is it was paid for by online donations. I'm just willing to bet.
Oh. Okay.
Right.
Hey,
that gives us an example of the mindset of these people, though. The people who are anti-choice, the people that are anti-trans, the people who are pro spanking, the people, just this whole demographic, all kind of fall into line together. I mean, I get it because my parents spanked me. And I spanked my oldest child when I was younger. I didn't spank my younger two because I'd kind of grown out of that stage in my life where I thought that was okay, which helped to get away from the culture that I was in at the time that was encouraging that behavior.
That violent culture. Yeah.
You were chastised for not spanking your kids. Like your kids throwing a fit in the store or throwing a fit at a barbecue or something, and you don't go over and spank them. People are talking shit about you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm about to be 51 years old. My parents spanked us. My mom would take us out of church and spank us in the parking lot and bring us back in. You know, and because we were acting up in church, like that's just how it was. You acted up in the grocery store, she'd take you outside. She'd sit on the passenger side, bend you over her knee, and fucking spank your ass. Like that's how it was. And you know, my brothers and sisters started out by spanking their kids and stuff. You know, I never really spanked mine, but
I'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to go down and get a drink. But luckily I have people, so it's just not dead air.
Yeah, we'll miss you. Go ahead.
I'm glad to have you back, Stephen.
Oh, that's harsh.
No, I'm just teasing him. I love Steven. He's
I'm
a good
drinking
guy.
a Lotus, so
What is a Lotus?
one of these things.
Isn't that one of those vodka drinks?
No, it doesn't have any vodka in it. It's just got I don't know what all is in it. It's from the coffee place. It's really kind of fizzy, I guess. It's mostly juice. What all is in a Lotus?
Oh, that'd be a perfect thing to put vodka in.
Yeah, it is a good. You would
beat me by half a second.
I would have said rum.
It's a
I would have
mixer.
said rum, but I'm right there with you because
Oh, rum. Oh, actually, you know what? If it's a fruity tropical flavor, then rum would actually be better.
because this is like this one is blooming rainbow. You think
Ooh.
Oh,
anything's more feminine than a blooming rainbow? You're mistaken.
Well, I don't.
He's so cute.
What about a blooming rainbow on fire because of the flaming hot rum inside? No, never mind.
Oh
No,
yeah.
this is-
Oh, you gonna put a chase fireball with the blooming rainbow? Chase. You ever do a shot of fireball? Those little bottles.
I have done the.
Oh, I have those.
What do they call it when you get the? They do the pint glass with Angry Orchard in it, and then they drop a shot glass of.
Oh, like apple cinnamon. Well, it depends, I guess, where you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you got fireball right there.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I've seen it done a couple of times. One is just to pour it in to the pint of Apple Orchard. The other is to drop it in, like kind of Boilermaker style.
Yeah.
If
So
you're, if you're
I
when you say
usually
the
feeling old
orchard,
school.
because there's a few different. Are you talking like a cider, like a hard cider?
Yeah, Angry Orchard is a hard apple
Angry
cider.
Orchard,
I usually
okay.
go to the
Yep.
bar and I'll get a hard apple. Angry Orchard is one of the best ones with Fireball, in my opinion. Something about the flavor with it, and I'll just get a shot of Fireball, drink a little bit out of the top, and I just dump a shot in there, and that's how I
Apple
drink it at the
cinnamon,
bar.
that just goes, right? I mean, that's a
Yeah, it tastes
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Cinnamon and apple.
it's almost too sweet. It's good.
Yeah, it's almost candy apple sweet. So
I brought a
So-
friend.
yeah, it's really good.
not to stir the
That's my kitty.
pot up about any of the drama stuff going on, but
It too.
Jefferson, what's your thoughts on this thing between Knock and Gurr? Are you staying
going
far
on?
away from that?
I've stayed away from it for the most part. I've heard a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about it. I watched a couple of videos that Knock did last
Mm-hmm.
week, and I was like, okay, so he went on a show. I saw the part of one of the shows, and I didn't totally understand why Knock was getting so worked up. But before I commit to anything there, my brother went in, and my brother basically just went in there to wind him up as quickly and as
Yeah, I saw
as
that.
possible. And I was like,
Ooh,
well,
Jay? No, Jay
Yeah.
would never do that.
never do that.
Never.
This is like the key difference between the two of us, because like I will get feisty with somebody if they start with me, but I don't usually initiate it. And he will occasionally see something like this and be like, "Oh, I smell some blood in the water," and he will just like go like he will swim towards that like a shark to chum.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's
just
just
like-
most people
yep.
don't realize it, but the J is actually short for Jaws.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
So-
his name is really Jaws. He's like, no, 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 no. Uh-oh. What's going on over here?
So I watched it with a little bit of like, I mean, I kind of kept my distance from it. I'm like, okay, Jay's being kind of a dick here.
I
But
don't know what's going on with it, honestly. I didn't even hear about it yet.
Yeah, basically the gist of it was there was a conversation happening on one of Gur's streams, and the Knock kind of got worked up because he was trying to make a distinction that, like Christians basically deconverting from Christianity, that's a lot lower risk essentially than what people
Right.
who are Muslims who have to deconvert in predominantly Muslim countries, right? And there was a
Apostates, yeah.
any kind of apostasy kind of thing that happens, and his basic point was that Muslim apostates have a lot more to lose, and there's a lot more risks involved depending on where they're at. Fine, point taken. He was having this argument, and like Leo Filius was there, and then there was somebody named Pixie or something like that, and
Yeah,
she was
Pixie
trying.
Storms. She's great. I've met her in person. She's a sweetheart.
Well,
Okay.
Knock
She-
and
She's
Pixie,
also brilliant.
Yeah, they had it out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the main two that were going back and forth were Knock and Pixie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's how it got
there was
started,
definitely
and
a
then
discussion about the physical danger you're in to leave Islam in countries like Saudi Arabia, for instance.
Oh, okay.
It being worse than it is to leave Christianity, and I would say definitely worse than it is to leave Christianity in the U.S. But to leave Christianity in some of these African countries, you do have risk of actual harm to your person.
Well, they physically abuse them in the church. Why wouldn't they
Right.
try to kill them outside of it?
So there is that. And I don't think that was the conversation being had, but maybe that is the conversation that needed to be had. It's to those distinctions, I think, would have changed the whole direction of the conversation. Because I'm with Knock 100% to say that yes, the leaving Islam in Saudi Arabia or any other country where it's the prominent religion, which is most of the Middle East, there
Oh, yeah.
is more dangerous than leaving Christianity in the U.S. or anywhere else.
Oh,
in the
I
rest of the
agree.
world.
No, I agree. And
But
especially for women over there, women aren't allowed to make any decisions.
but whether
If they
leaving
make any move by themselves without a man by their side, they will
well,
they
I had
will get some kind of punishment.
Yeah, and I had a couple questions about it, because usually the thing that's usually associated with is like, if you're an apostate Muslim, somebody's going to issue a fatwa against you and that kind of thing, and they're going to come out to get you. But in some countries where Islam is a little bit more
relaxed or less fingers in the government, maybe.
Well, yeah, that if you've got more than one different denomination, you can go into different areas, and basically it's those groups kind of fighting with each other dogmatically that gives the parishioners, the layperson, cover, so you can kind of slink over into one. This happens in the United States too. You can go from like the Westboro Baptist over to like Anglican, and then slip into atheism, and that's the easiest way out, right? Like you can avoid some direct
Yeah, like
backlash. Um,
Yeah, by easing your
baby
way out of it.
steps.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
But like I don't know what it's like in the case like because I know that Indonesia has a very large Muslim population, but Indonesia's take on Islam is slightly different, and I don't know what the predominant sect is over there, whatever take is, but
But don't you think
um,
a better comparison of those Islamic countries would be like Nigeria and places where Christianity is still pretty archaic in its practices, and in the
no,
Philippines too.
no. If you'd have to flip it. That's the thing. You might think like, okay, say you've got like you got something that's kind of close to an economic powerhouse like Saudi Arabia or whatever, and it's you've got Islam there. It's actually more fundamental there, and you go to someplace like Indonesia. And theirs might be a little bit more freewheeling. So becoming an apostate Muslim in Indonesia, you have problems socially and culturally, especially amongst friends and family who identify as that, but you don't have to worry about being targeted for like physical harm, right? That's reduced. Now I don't know if that's actually the case, so that doesn't matter. But anyway, the whole point of that was essentially where they started going. It got heated between Pixie and Knock. Jay stepped in there and basically decided that because he heard the level of outrage coming out of Knock and he deemed it as inappropriate, he just kind of went after him and then just basically kept picking at him to get him to blow. Then I
Which
don't
he was
know if
already on edge from going back and forth with Pixie so much. He was
yeah.
not was already right there. He was, yeah.
Doubting Thomas says Jay actually took it easy on him. Yeah, he may have. I mean, I've seen my brother get particularly vicious with some people. So he was in there. He was just like, I think this is funny that you guys are getting this worked up, but you're clearly talking past each other.
Well, we
Right?
just proved that you can have this conversation politely and calmly, and
Mm-hmm.
set what the parameters of what you're discussing is, because it's important to know which groups you're talking about and what countries. None of that seemed to be brought up. It was case like individual anecdotes, and then because they knocked the apostate alliance, which is a good thing to let's get those people in contact with each other. A beautiful structure. I wish that him and John Peterson could have kept that going. I really do.
Yeah, they kept it going for a while. I thought they did a good show with that.
And then Pixie's the Muslim person that she knew from what sounded like clearly a different Muslim sect. Now that was not discussed. That hey, maybe it's this way these different groups interpret their book. You can't just paint it all with one broad brush. Same with Christianity, because again we have places like those, like the churches in Nigeria, where they're very aggressive, and then you have comparison to anything in the West is going to be a massive contrast.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what kicked off, and then so Gurr took some of Rage did a video about Gurr and was complaining about Gurr not modding things correctly or whatever, and then he complained about Jay on that one, and then I think he did a video later talking about differences between Christianity and Muslim apostasy or whatever. Jay did a response video, I think, earlier today, like really earlier today. I don't know how comprehensively he goes over like whatever happened, and I didn't watch it, so.
Yeah. And I mean, if anybody wants to blow this up and this turns into something they're doing a hit piece about, I welcome any conversation about it. I would prefer if anybody wants to respond to what I have to say about this situation, they'd reach out to me directly and we set something up rather than just do a video response. Of course, it's within your power to do so.
Bree, were you? How many of these conversations were you privy to, like personally?
I was just in the live chat in some of the videos, or while they were premiering. I was not actually involved in the conversations at all.
Okay.
But I did watch them. Yeah, I did. I did view them. I was not in any of the panels. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, and I wasn't either, and I don't know. I I don't entirely care that it's. I mean, I know that for some people, getting out of a particular religion, especially nowadays, it's easy to say, like, if you become an apostate in the Muslim religion in certain countries and certain cultures, it's not just fraught and emotionally tough. It's dangerous. Like, you could end up attracting lethal harm towards yourself. That doesn't mean that Christianity can't do the same thing. Christianity has been in that position before. It is in that position in Uganda,
Right.
and it can be in that position in the United States. We have Christian fascists here that are absolutely working to make that the case.
It's moving that way in the Philippines too, just so everybody knows. I don't know if anybody's aware of how heavy the evangelical movement is in the Philippines, but
Oh boy.
it's prevalent.
So yeah, the fact that yeah, it currently, like, to me, and that's the thing that I thought was weird that about Knox Rage, was that you don't understand why it's so much different. Like, it's not that different. Really, the biggest difference has been the cultures that have kind of like been cradling these particular religions over the last 100 or so years, and where they've been economically in positions of power. If you put the United States in a position of economic and social unrest, like a second, or what you'd call a developing world nation, and then, like, take a look at what the U.S. is like now. Right, we have a lot of comfort and a lot of wealth and a lot of resources, and look what Christianity is like now. Now make this country a beleaguered nation state with troubled access to resources and help. And imagine what Christianity turns into. It's potentially a nightmare, especially if they're fundamentalists that are leading the charge. So, that's my take.
Yeah. I was just gonna say,
Okay.
one of my housemates is from South Africa, so I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't spoken about like this specifically with him, but I mean, like, he downstairs. I can get him up and have a chat with him, like, you know what I mean. If you wanted, like,
Right.
literally just to
Right.
kind of get like that, like, exact thing, like, yeah,
Well, that's if you look at the Afro-humanist and what Esther does over there, she talks about all of those horrible churches, in Africa and
Yep.
different areas, and what they're doing to people and how they're making them lay on the floor and the pastor's walking on them, and it's just like
I
all
saw one where he
kinds of
farted on their faces. It was so
crazy.
gross.
Yeah, he farted in their face. There's anything to put them down and make him higher. They'll make a pile of themselves and he'll sit on top of them and speak. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's
Abusive.
Those people are crazy
Abuse.
over there. And
It's
if you
abuse.
try to walk away from shit, they will come after you. They go down through the streets and get people to join them in walking and stuff, and people join, and then they just kind of stand there, and it's like they don't want to be there, but they're afraid to say no. You know?
Yep.
So
Yeah, so
yeah.
I think the attempt to try to say, like, it's fine to say that the majority of apostates get into more danger in Islam. Yeah, now
Oh yeah. Oh
now
yeah.
they
Of course they
do.
do.
But the idea that it's like, look, Christianity and Islam are both unique in that there's lots of things in their books that you can use, that fanatics can use to justify violence. So the fact that Christianity, like, in the United States, is relatively easy to walk away from because we live in a secular society with no established religion, yeah, it's awesome. But you
Yeah.
still end up, I mean, not knows, right? Not frequently complains that he's essentially like persona non grata amongst his family. I can't imagine what that's like. My
Yeah.
parents are both believers. They know that I'm an atheist. They know that I have a YouTube channel that's about atheism, right? And they're a
Right.
little bit weirded out by that. Now, the only thing that kind of insulates me from that, all my siblings are atheists too. So
So what are you gonna? You can't single me out. You have to hate all of us.
yeah, it's five of us against two of them, and
Wow.
they were never accepted in any of the denominations that they were in because of their particular Christian views, because they weren't dogmatic. They were always considered too liberal. So for them, they
Oh,
just kind of
okay.
look at it and like, yeah, we were always considered weirdos. We were always considered wrong in our groups. Maybe our kids are onto something. So
Right.
I think they both hold to the idea that there's a higher power, but I don't think they
Well,
really hold to.
I don't have any proof there isn't, but I don't have any proof that there is.
Yeah.
So that's where I sit at. I don't know.
And that's my
First of all, I'm never going to take the time to read up on everything because I don't care enough. So that's never going to happen. Because I just don't give a shit what all these books say. You know what I mean? Like, okay, the day I see it, and I know with my own two eyes, and I'm not crazy, and that I saw something that will convince me, or I touched something that will convince me, okay, then I'll consider it. But until then, nope. No, but I don't know either way, honestly. So, I mean, I don't know. That's
yeah, yeah, and
but I'm never going to look into it. I don't give a shit enough about
it. I think that's actually probably one of the key weaknesses to Christianity and actually Judaism and Islam. I think actually one of the key strengths to something like Judaism is a cult. Right. It's a strict cult. It's cultural transmission. It keeps things within the family. It keeps things guided. Christianity has a lot of things going wrong for it because it's all about this idea that anybody can be a Christian, but everybody's got to think the same way. And Christianity is not built for that. The way that kind of modern Christianity runs, where this idea like, do you believe that Jesus saved you and wants to love you, and do you acknowledge his salvation? Like, sure. Okay, you're a Christian. That's not how it works. And most actual Christians know better. They know that's not how it works.
Well,
but they don't have a tradition. They don't have a tradition as strong as something like Judaism or Islam to back up. So they make it up.
I could grant every premise that you just said and still not believe that Jesus was anything but a person.
Yeah, sure.
That he did die for the salvation of everybody that came after him because he thought that his death would absolve them of sin. Sure, I grant that guy did that for that reason. Do I think
he might have, yeah.
Do I think it actually absolved anybody of anything? No. Do I think that there was anything metaphysical going on with this gentleman? No.
Yeah, that's actually a good take. Actually, I gotta give you that. Like, do you believe that there was a man Jesus who died for our sins? Sure, I think that's possible. Like, but you didn't ask me the next question. Do I think it took?
Right. Yeah. Because sure he could have, and I can even say, you know what? I appreciate the gesture. If he thought that he was really doing that for me, good on him. But I don't believe him that was a thing.
I can throw myself.
I don't either. But if he did it, then hey, man, that's good for you for being an awesome fucking human being.
Sounds like a nice guy. Yeah.
I can throw myself in front of a fast moving train for Beck's mortgage, but it doesn't mean that Beck's mortgage is going to change.
Right.
So
unless you make a life insurance.
I don't have a mortgage. My shit's paid off, brother.
Oh God, I died for nothing, Beck.
Well, you could die for my rent for the rest of the year.
That's why
there
we
you
should
go.
sin,
there we go.
Right? Christians should sin because if they don't,
Jesus died for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah.
I mean, that's what if no one sins, then yeah.
And there were different denominations that came about like that essentially gave humans the license to be humans, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter if the world turned into like a Hellraiser Cenobite realm. The fact that Jesus died for everybody's sins, that was going to get sorted out in the next realm. That was going to be something that got
people don't
fixed.
realize that what we have today is mostly just because the Catholic Church stamped out everyone else, all the other Christian sects. But before they took over Rome, oh man, there were so many wild Christian sects and different practices and the different ways to worship Christ and different representations of Christ. It's bizarre to look at some of the imagery that they used.
Yeah,
there's imagery of Christ dressed up like a wizard kind of with a wand and things like that for different sects. The flagellants, y'all know about the flagellants, right? They would run around constantly whipping themselves on the back with cats and nine tails.
Yeah, they were the most fun to watch. I miss those guys. Fucking dumbasses. I'm gonna beat myself all day because I think shit. God wants me to. Yeah, you go ahead, buddy. I'll watch you and laugh.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if today in every major Midwestern parade, instead of having the Shriners ride around the little mini bikes, we had flagellants walk around smacking themselves with boards and whips? Oh my God.
Oh, I love it, man. We got to do
If
that
I
shit.
if I could live in the multiverse version where that's the only change, I would do it. Just that one, so I could see that one parade, be like,
Oh my
there's
God.
kids here, man. Kids are here.
They would have evolved into like they would be the ones that would have evolved into the Hellraiser escape where everybody's into torture and corporal punishment.
It probably
Right.
would. I'd be broadcasting back to you, and like, yeah, I'm all
Because
kitted out with like teeth on my skin and shit.
isn't that the central
Wow.
theme of Christ's sacrifice is the physical suffering? So
Yeah, supposedly. And the
I feel
weird thing
we're
is,
getting into BDSM here. What's going on now?
well, we started with disciplining your spouse.
no, Bree, we started with Shriner bikes. Sorry. Sorry.
Well, actually,
Did anyone know that Shriner bikes could be a kink? Jefferson
do now.
Spatch got
no,
I do
but
now.
I believe now.
I do
I gotta
now.
bounce, guys. I'll talk to you later.
No
See you
problem.
later.
mate.
Bye, sweetheart. It's great seeing you.
So, Steven, what do you have another thing that you need to catch up on? Because
Yeah.
that was the point of this stream.
Yes, I do.
And we derailed it.
Only slightly, you know. I will forgive you on this occasion.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so I can only apologize for how jumbled my thoughts are going to be for the next little while. I don't know if any of you caught me, but I just did a bong hit there, and the last stuff that I got off of
good,
this
I've
guy,
spoken
he
to.
has described as, you know, good, decent, very good. That was the last stuff he got. This stuff he described as insane, and he was fucking accurate. Holy shit. Anyway. Yes. A lot of stuff to catch up on.
Oh, I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Buckle in.
Yeah, but so yes. Look, this is old news. Everybody here knows about this. Pretty much everybody in the live chat is going to know about this. It was massive. Headlines everywhere, all over. Made the news. There was a draft opinion that was leaked at the Supreme Court, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah, look, I announced this earlier on Twitter, so it's not like as if it's, you know, news or whatever. But shortly, I'm in the process of organizing a debate. It's going to be me and one of my housemates against Kay Fellows and Kendon Farr from TikTok, and it's going to be on abortion. So yeah, look. I'm going to be coming at it like I can talk about abortion in so many different ways. Like there's so many different avenues that I can go down and that I can talk about this in.
Right.
You know, it's something that is kind of loosely tied to me because I lost a child to an ectopic pregnancy. So like it's an abortion of a kind.
Yes.
But you know, look, like I get it. Even though, you know, I'm pansexual and proud of being, but it's a rainbow ring. I don't know if that came across on camera. Anyway, I know that, you know, like I'm a guy, right? I identify as a guy. I was born, you know, I mean, I can never get pregnant, right? It's never going to happen. It's not physically possible.
Right.
And so even though it's not literally going to affect me in that way, you know, like it affects. I'm kind of thinking like if something like that was to happen here, I mean, I don't even have to go back very long until that was actually a thing here, which I will talk about. But I mean, like, you know, it's just the sense that, like, you know, if there was anybody that I knew like that had an unwanted pregnancy and they were just not in the, you know what I mean, the right place, the right time, they're not able to kind of devote themselves properly to that new environment,
Right.
to that new reality. You know, like I will never have to go through it. I will never have to experience pregnancy. I will never have to experience childbirth. I will never have to go through like what that's like physically on a woman's body. The fact that like it's obviously changing, and the fact that there's, you know, an ever growing bump there, you know, but it's not just that. There's the physical changes that a woman's body goes through during pregnancy. There's all of that. There's the emotional side of it. There's the sickness. There's the everything. It's like, I just don't think that it's right to force anybody to go through with that. That would be kind of more so like the moral arguments, aside from the fact that like my crux of my arguments when I'm talking about abortion, if I'm debating abortion, it all comes back to bodily autonomy. And it's, you know what I mean, you can use the personhood argument, you can use the, you know, the moral arguments, you can use all of those all you want, and I have done them, and I probably will do them again at some point at least. But for me, it's just bodily autonomy. That is just like, there's just no getting away from that, because that's what it's always going to come back to, is that if you know, I mean, you can't call yourself pro freedom, you can't call yourself, you know, in favor of personal liberty, of you know, just personal freedom, if you are then in favor of the state commanding what you can and cannot do with your body. It's just impossible. They're too in the way. They just, you know what I mean, like they're at constant conflict. You can't say that you're for freedom if you're then for forcing the government to tell you what you can and can't do. But there's also, as I kind of said there, we only legalized abortion back in 2018, right? Roe v. Wade was passed in the 70s. So the chances that most people who are, you know, alive and well and who are debating this very issue in the States, the chances that they have been alive at like their entire lives at a time where abortion was legal is, you know, right. There's a pretty good chance that that's happening. But in Ireland, there's literally people who are like, you know, 4 years old, and abortion has only been around as long as they are alive. So there's much more kind of up-to-date kind of, you know, stories, stats. Like, look, I get that a lot of them are anecdotes. All of them are anecdotes, technically speaking. But, you know, this is not just the case here. It's not just the case in the US. It's not just the case in England. It could be the case in every single country. If you want an abortion, you're going to get one. End of. You know, if you feel as though you have to have an abortion, again, for whatever reason, that's not my business. I don't want, you know, like, I don't, obviously, yes, I will show empathy. I will have remorse, etc., etc., etc. If someone comes to me and tells me that, you know, their baby is a rape baby, or is a baby as a consequence of incest, right? Of like any of that. Those are totally fine, valid, whatever. I totally get that. But just, I don't, you know, that reason for me is just as justifiable as if you come to me and say, I'm just not in the financial position right now and I can't. You know, like they are all as co-equally valid reasons to want or to have an abortion.
Whether you don't want to, you're afraid to try it because you have a family history of issues. You've had miscarriages before. You there's people with certain conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. You know, that can fuck you up. You know, there's risks for the baby depending on the medical history of the family. There's so many, and then there's just the I don't want to have kids. That's valid. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's,
I never wanted to have kids.
Exactly.
I wasn't interested at all.
But yeah, but it's just that. But like, you know, there was so many stories coming out late 2017 and early 2018 and the kind of lead up to this referendum. So basically abortion was illegal in the Constitution, and we have a thing in Ireland. It's been called direct democracy, which is if a proposed to the Constitution, or sorry, if there is a proposed change to the Constitution, it's not just left up to our version of Congress and Senate. It is put to a public vote, So everybody goes to a voting booth and they vote on whether or not abortion should be legal or illegal. It passed. Well, I'm pretty sure it was like 72% of the vote or something like that. So overwhelming majority. We did the same, and we were the first country ever to legalize same-sex marriage by public vote, something that I am immensely fucking proud of the Irish public for. But anyway, that's a totally different conversation for a totally different day.
Well, yeah, okay.
In the lead up to 2018, there was stories all over the place. You didn't have to look very hard for them. There was stories of people who were taking out-of-date stomach ulcer pills, people who were drinking bleach, who were throwing themselves down flights of stairs, who were importing abortion pills from into the north and then literally smuggled down into the mainland. There was people traveling to England to have abortions. There was people traveling to Northern Ireland to have abortions. There was people traveling out of country entirely, like past England to have abortions. People are going to do it whether or not it is illegal. I know that it's a little bit of like a, wildly used saying, but the only thing that making abortion illegal does is stop safe abortions, right? We've all heard of the phrase back alley abortions, or like a black doctor abortions. They are things for a fucking reason,
because that shit happened in the 70s.
Exactly, they're a thing for a reason. They are stories for a reason, because these things happen, and they only happen in countries where abortion is illegal. And but it's not just that, but there's the like significantly higher risk of some form of like a medical complication happening for but if it does, and this was the reality for Irish women, that's why an awful lot of them fled to a different country in order to have this, is because if you had a back alley abortion here in Ireland in say 2017, if you then suffered some form of a medical complication as a result of that, you couldn't go to the hospitals, because if you did, they were going to do tests and they were going to do studies and whatever else, and they were going to find out that you had an abortion, and you then could be criminally penalized for it. So it was literally making it a case where women were staying at home, suffering from medical complications, possibly having to travel out of country, and the reason why they had something local is most likely because they can't afford to travel out of country, but now it's a possible life or death scenario. Like there was just all of these things, and they all people were having them even when it was illegal. And if you make it illegal now in the States or in any other country, that is going to unfortunately become your reality. Because it's not a uniquely Irish thing. This happens in every single country that doesn't have legal abortions. These stories are everywhere. They are from so many different countries, and it's just going like I just think that the US has this fundamental opposition to looking outwards at different countries and what happens there in order to either learn or to adapt to those things depending on what they are. And I just don't think that the US and the people who are in favor of making abortions illegal have not looked out at any other country where it has been illegal to look at the downsides, to look at the negatives, to look at all of the things that can happen or that will happen. And it's fine if you want to be pro-life, right? If you want to, that's not my take. That could be your take, whatever. But if you are someone who identifies as pro-life but is not also in favor of universal healthcare, of free college at the point of service, of free pre-K, free school lunches, and all of these sorts of things, you're not pro-life, you are pro-forced birth, because you don't give a fuck about people after they are born, i.e. voting against, as Republicans do time and time again, voting against universal healthcare, voting against free lunches, voting against pre-K, voting against all of these things. You cannot then turn around and call yourself pro-life if that is the things you are doing. because all you want to
That's
do
right.
is to force women to give birth. But also, because you are not paying them, no, I'm not going to quote her because I don't think that she'll do or that I'll do a good enough job of quoting her. Give me 2 moments because I'm not usually a fan of TYT. I'm really not a fan of them usually. But there was a video that came out. I think it was only like a day or two after, maybe. And it was of Anna Kasparian and her kind of her talking about this. I think it was only like the day after the leak was kind of announced and where it was there. But just
I think I saw this. Yeah, this
the
is good.
rant that she went on, I mean, I have to say, like, it's just fantastic because, you know, it's what, sorry, I retweet quite a lot. And I've been tweeting quite a lot the last couple of days, and I have to go back.
No
Fuck,
worries.
Jesus Christ, this seems like it was so long ago. But then again, I feel like I've come past it, and it's oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I am running out of things for filler words, and I haven't found the fucking tweet yet. I'm nearly positive because I did like it. I definitely did like it. Oh my god, does somebody in chat have this link to like what I'm talking about? It's Ivana Kasparian, and she's like like ranting like a fucking beast at
I might be able to find it for you.
fuck,
Was it
I
a
just
YouTube- Was it?
no,
a
it was
YouTube?
it was on Twitter is where I saw it, but it could have been on YouTube as well. It's probably in like, you know, clip form or whatever, but I just cannot find this to hand. If anybody has the link of what I'm talking about, because
Was she reacting to the leak?
TYT yes, yeah. Supreme Court leak. This is all giving me other forms of news articles.
The question is,
Okay, give me 2 seconds because that could be it. No, that is just Cenk. That is very annoying. Anna, no. No, nobody in chat. I'm just gonna. Oh my god, we have no links. This is so bad. I saw this going so differently in my head.
I really
Okay.
thought it was going to be smooth and effortless.
Well,
and
yeah, I
seamless,
did as well, but I
no.
should have. Yeah, I really should have kind of gotten that.
Steven underestimated the number of clips that are put out by the Young Turks. It's hard to find
Right.
it. Yeah, the one that you need.
Well, no, because I had liked it on Twitter and I had responded to it and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure I retweeted it as well. And so yeah, so like I'm just kind of surprised because I obviously fucking tweet a lot as well because I'm like,
Well,
because I just cannot fucking find it. Oh no.
While you're looking for it, I would like to say something.
Yeah.
something. No,
Thank
go,
you, Uncle
seriously.
Beck.
You're welcome, buddy. I got you.
I know you do. I think that the and you know, you can take this for what it's worth coming from me. What bothers me the most about this is that I grew up with sisters, and they ran into these issues early on, and we were Christian growing up, and everything surrounding any of this kind of stuff was just shrouded in a bunch of religious bullshit and moralizing nonsense and just insanity. Like it was really hard to do anything about it, and all that did was raise the stress level out of it. And the one thing that I learned about that going into like the debates that are coming up, and they're going to continue to come up, one of the things that I've seen, and I keep hearing this criticism from these opponents of abortion, these Christians. So like, these women the pro-life, the pro-choice.
I found
movement.
it. I found it. Sorry, I got very excited.
Ooh.
Can
I
found it.
Can I finish my point?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The thing that I thought was bad about most of what I've heard about this was that the ideas coming out was that the women that were having abortions were treating the pregnancies that they had as if the babies were of no value. And I remember thinking about that when I was younger, and when I was younger and a Republican and conservative, I thought that made sense. And then as I grew up and went through some things with my family and with my sisters and with other women that I knew as I grew up and grew older, I started to realize that the reason that women elect to have abortions isn't because they don't understand the value of a child. It's because they do understand the value of a child and they understand the cost.
That's right.
And most of the opponents don't. They talk about the value of people, but they never talk about the cost. Women know what it takes, and they can stare it down the barrel, and they know what it's going to take, and they don't have it in them, and they don't want to face it. They don't. They're not ready for that. They're not going to do it.
People should applaud them for being mature.
Yeah, they're doing the responsible thing. It's a responsible thing for them to do that. And the fact that the right wing and the Republicans are saying, these women don't value life. Yes, they do. They understand that life has a value, and value comes with cost. And Christians are neglecting the notion of cost. They're acting like it's not going to cost anybody a thing.
Yeah.
They're being flippant. They're being glib. They're being irresponsible. They're being negligent with human life. And their opponents aren't. They're the ones that are being immoral, not the women that are taking responsibility. Women that don't care about the kids that they have, just have those kids.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They would just have them and dump them in the fucking child care system, into the foster system, if they didn't care about life at all. It's easier to get and everything would be paid for, nothing out of your pocket to have a fucking child and dump it.
A woman that understands what that costs and understands the value of a human life knows they need to take steps early and they need to make decisions now. And Christians are telling those kinds of women, shut up. You need to understand you need to be burdened with this kid now until it becomes a full-grown human being. Yeah, and that is a perverse position to take. Yeah. And they have no justification for it. So,
agreed. 100.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Sorry, now I'm just grabbing the reaction screen so we can all watch in amazement. There we go, and there we go.
We don't even have paid family leave. We don't even have affordable childcare in this freaking country. Okay, and the people who fight against those kinds of laws are Republicans.
And yet,
what do you want them to do with their kids when they have to go to work? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? I want them to answer that freaking question. Answer the question. Journalists, ask them the question. Ask them. Ask them.
Isn't it amazing?
Ask them the goddamn question.
Isn't it amazing that not one Democrat has shown 1% of the passion that Anna has today?
They don't care.
They don't care.
They're fine. They're all so old, they don't even have to worry about it affecting them. And if they're young enough where it would affect them, they'll get their abortion.
They're going to fly to Paris.
They're trading individual stocks, enriching themselves. They're good. They're good. They don't care about you.
That's right.
Make sure you understand that and you feel it in your bones. They don't care about you at all.
No Republican or no
all of that fundraising,
politicians do.
All of that canvassing, all of that hard work on the ground. They can't even get a voting rights bill passed. They're losers.
Trusha Briggs writes in, thank you, Anna, for communicating this momentous injustice and the rage we're all feeling today.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like, as I said, I absolutely love that video. I just think it's just fantastic. As I said, I'm not a massive fan of TYT usually, but like, no, I'm sorry, Anna fucking killed it right there.
Yeah,
She really did.
Yeah, it's like, it's just one of those questions that you never, like, is so valid, but I don't feel like you kind of think about asking them. You know, like, literally, what do you want them to do with their kids? You've now forced them to give birth, but they're not able to both go to work and make sure that their kids are looked after, because not everybody's parent is around to be kind of essentially co-parent when they're in work or if they're in college or whatever. So you can't go to work to earn money to feed yourself and the child that you've now been forced to give birth to, because you have to pay childcare, but you can't stay home because they don't back up the social safety net enough to whereas you can actually survive on it. So what do you want them to do? It's an extremely good question that I genuinely just didn't really kind of think of that much, and that I've never kind of thought to use it in like an argument or a debate or anything. But it is a genuinely fantastic question.
You know, honestly, Steven, I have been saying that for years. Like 10, 15 years I've been saying that.
Okay.
They want they want everybody to go to work, but nobody gets paid enough to afford childcare. And they don't and the system doesn't want to fucking help, because as soon as you get a job, you make too much to get free childcare. But if you don't work, you can have free childcare. Now, how the fuck does that make any goddamn sense?
Yeah, it doesn't.
If you're not working, stay home with your goddamn kids. You take care of them. But, you know, if you're working, how the fuck are you supposed... And the parents that are working are the ones that are trying to provide for their children. They give a fuck. So why are you punishing the ones that are working? That's all they're doing. They're just punishing the working class. That's what they have done over and over again. They will continue to do. They need us to need them. If we don't need them, then we could dismantle them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, look, you know, I've said, you know, what I've said on this topic, and I just don't really kind of think that there's anything more that I kind of have to say on it. You know, I just think that, like, look, I get that people call themselves pro-life. I get that. Look, I don't like the procedure of abortions. You know, I think that there's like this grave misunderstanding that we have in a lot of countries, where people think that the opposite of pro-life is pro-choice. It's not. The opposite of pro-life is pro-abortion. Pro-choice is the middle ground, quite literally, because people who are pro-life are like, nope, no abortions, ban them, no more. People who would be pro-abortions would be encouraging people to have them in order to, like, for population control or for whatever, right? But pro-choice is going, no, if you want to keep your baby, absolutely keep your baby. I'm not going to force you to, you know, abort it. But if you want to have an abortion, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to force you to keep it either. It's literally the middle ground. It's choice. It's kind of in the title. But
it's in the title, damn it.
Yeah. But it's look, there's so much more that I can kind of say on this, and you know, it would kind of need somebody who, you know, would be against abortion or for making them illegal, from, you know, for like to get like a proper kind of like a conversation on it, and for most of those points to kind of come out. But like, I just think that the strongest way to kind of argue this is, and this is just my opinion, is to go the route of bodily autonomy over, you know, personhood or like any of those, like, you know, when does it actually become a life? It's, you know, I just think because at the end of the day, like, even if you were to kind of concede as the pro-choice person on when life begins, you're still kind of going back to bodily autonomy. You know, like it will kind of inevitably get there. So I'm just kind of thinking, just fast track the process. But then it's also just kind of talking about the stuff that happened here in Ireland, and just the fact that like there's just this weird aversion to looking to what other countries have done to see if the things that they are proposing are good or if they're going to work. You know, you see something working in a different country, you look at how they do it, you know, how it's funded or how it's set up or run or whatever, and it's like, okay, we'll literally just copy them. It works for them. Why the fuck can't it work here?
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't. I just see, because I've literally lived through it, and because I've lived in a country that hasn't had legalized abortions for most of my life. I'm looking at the US, and you know, it's a fear of what it's going to become now that you're going back to where we were only not that long ago. You know, and it's
right.
It's fucked. I don't know what else to say on it.
Yeah, it really is fucked.
Yep.
A lot of things are fucked right now, unfortunately.
I mean, the biggest problem is that we've got a massive problem with homegrown American fascism.
Yeah.
So it's been an issue. I mean, it was an issue before World War II, but World War II kind of channeled it into a nationalist military operation that sent a bunch of people over to fight a war. It was growing here. The Nazis knew it. Germany knew it. But now this stuff, yeah, it's weird, kind of out of control. So.
But it's just kind of one of these other things, like, you know, I had mentioned direct democracy earlier. Like, it's just why I think that it's a system that so many countries should adopt, because if you had direct democracy, right, that in the case of the US, it would be like a constitutional amendment as well, so you'd have a referendum on it. There is not a single state, not even one, that's including all of your deep hardcore red states, like your Texas, your South Carolinas, your Georgias, your all of them. There is not a single state in the US that doesn't have at least 51% favorability on abortion. So if the US was to do a public vote on it, to hold a referendum, abortion would be made legal. And that's just like in every state. It would be like, you know, if they did something like the presidential map where the states turn colors depending on which one, like, it would just be like, you know what I mean? It like, pick your colors, and it, like, the entire US map would be that color for the pro-abortion side, you know? Like, if you picked green for pro-abortion, for whatever, you know, it would just be green. The entire map would be green. It's just one of these things, like, you know, even kind of like universal healthcare, that polls extremely well, enough to pass in a referendum style vote. So it's just, you know, like, if you were to implement this, like, that system, you would have so much fucking more available to you in your country. You know, it's just, and just why not? You know, because a bunch of politicians, can get together and they can talk about it, and they can be like, we'll like do this, or we'll do that, or we won't do that. You know, we'll take this right away today. And but the thing is that, like, it's affecting real people. You know, if you cut Social Security, that affects real people. You know, if you had a vote on whether or not your wages should be higher, 100% it's gonna fucking pass. 100%. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all of this stuff that actually affects you and your life. Because if a bunch of politicians are setting what the minimum wage is, they're not earning minimum wage, so it doesn't affect them. You know?
Right.
Like, they'll be fine because they're all doing fucking insider trading. They're all doing backroom deals. Like, almost every fucking one of them. You could maybe take out 10 people. That's about it. In the entire Congress, Senate, everything.
They keep our minimum wage low, so they don't have to raise the other wages.
Exactly.
But yet they still get their raises every year.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
Exactly my point. Like, as Anna said, they're fine. They're living the life of luxury. You know, they're earning
Right.
enough where a cut to minimum wage is never going to affect them. But if you have real people who are earning minimum wage voting on this issue, of course it's going to go up because it actually affects them. That's the point. I just don't see why this isn't a system that's more widely adopted.
I have no idea. Because some things that make sense are just too hard for some people.
But yeah, but like that's it. It's just like it's not complicated, you know. There was a video that I saw. It was like talking about a socialized work environment, right? Or like a co-op. Like if you have every single person who works in that company voting on, even if you were told ahead of time, hey, look, if we move the manufacturing to China, we can save X amount and the company will make this much more. Do you really think that they're going to sit down and vote to outsource their own jobs? No. It's never going to happen. If they had a vote on what to do with the share of the profits, do you think that they're going to give another 25k fucking bonus to the executives, you know what I mean, and like a couple of million fucking bonus to the CEO whilst they're taking time on their fucking lunch hour to go down to the fucking bank and apply for college loans for their kids? It's never going to happen.
No.
They're going to vote to give themselves that money or to give themselves a raise. Like this is what I'm saying. Like people at the top who have so far distanced themselves from the people that they employ, from the minimum wage workers, they have no fucking clue what that life is like, what that lifestyle is like, what you have to do to survive on minimum wage. They've got no fucking clue because they've been living away from it from so long that they've forgotten what it's like. Or as the case may be, because the average age of Congress is like 180. When they were going through it, when they were in their early 20s and 30s, you could go down and you could afford to take out a mortgage, like very, very, very affordably, even if you were earning minimum wage, because it was worth an awful lot more back in the 60s and 70s. So, you know, all of this stuff is either either never affected them to begin with, or they've been in a position of wealth and power for so long that they've forgotten what it's like. Whereas if you give that power back to the people who are actually going through it, who are actually living it, 100% it's going to change. There's just no conceivable reason of why it wouldn't. I don't know. I just get like, it's just a feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, you know, again, I'm not going out here like crying for more people to get abortions, like, but it's just taking away these like rights from people. It's not fucking, you know, it's not right. But I mean, in the same sense as like, okay, a woman can get pregnant, right, once every 9 months, right?
Right.
A man in that same amount of time, given enough, you know, given the exact parameters of just right, predicaments and, you know, scenarios, a man could, technically speaking, get thousands of women pregnant in that same 9 month period that a woman can only have one child in. So wouldn't it make more sense, if you're wanting to lower the rate of abortions, to make it mandatory that every man has a now completely reversible vasectomy, and as soon as he is ready to have children, then he you know, has that process reversed, which we can now do very, very safely. I've like the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, but men don't want to have their ball sack cut in two.
Yeah, but it's not about that. But if so, like, that would technically speaking be the more, you know, be the like actual solution to what like cuts down on the rate of unwanted pregnancies. But because that is now trying to dictate what a man can do with his body, oh no, we're not talking about that, because that affects me, and I don't want, but I'm not a woman, so I'm going to vote that like women just can't get, you know, it doesn't, because it's now affecting you, and because it's now mandating what you have to do with your body. We're totally opposed to it. We can't do that. But if it's women, nah, fuck them. We get now just to control what 50% of the fucking population can do.
Did you know that birth control was originally made for men?
Yeah.
And men started taking it, and it made them feel like crap, and they didn't like it, so they said, no, make it for women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Even the newest one, even the newest pill that they came up with, had too many side effects that men found objectionable. Though the side effects were, it made him feel lower energy. It caused him to gain a little bit more body fat, and what was the other one? Low energy, body fat, a little bit depressed. That's like.
Well, you mean like
you-
all of the
I'm like-
side effects that women have to go through when they take birth
yeah,
control?
Yes, just like that.
It's nowhere close to what women have to deal with by
Yeah.
taking hormonal birth control. And they're just like, yeah, they need to take that. They need to take it every day, and they need to take it on the hour in order for it to work. And I'm like, you stupid bastards. Like,
Right.
if this entire situation was cleared up, like let's say that we had a situation like this. Let's say that somebody, like a Tesla type guy, right, came up with an IUD, right, that any woman could get, safely inserted. It is 99.9% effective, right? And I only say that because saying it's 100% effective is statistically stupid based on science. 99.9% effective, that might also be scientifically stupid. In terms
It's okay.
of controlling the rate that a woman wants to get pregnant. And here's the thing. This particular IUD, once implanted, it won't drift, it won't move, it's not hormonal, and it's not mineral. So they don't have to worry about being allergic to copper, and they don't have to worry about any of the hormonal side effects of it. It
Right.
simply smartly it elicits some kind of charge to deflect any kind of sperm from ever impacting anything, right? That device is something that the woman can control with her smartphone, her watch, whatever. Let's say we have this kind of device. So, now,
Yeah, but then a woman could trap a man into having a child with her when she didn't want one, or he didn't want one.
wait, how so?
If a woman controls it, you're saying that she would have a. Okay, maybe I missed something. You're saying that she would have control on her phone whether
100% of the time, yeah.
when they have sex, whether good
Yes.
sperm are released.
Yes.
Okay, what if he does not want to have a child with her and she does it behind his back?
If he doesn't wear a condom and she wants to
My
get
point
pregnant,
is that they should both have an app that connects each other and they both sign in and get a face ID and agree to it. And then it's like a contract.
ooh, nice. Nice.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Nice. All right. That's
I'm
pretty
just
good.
being a smartass. But no, I mean, I would do something like that first.
But here's how.
See,
here's
what
how,
I think they should do is every male that hits 10 years old should have a surgery done to snip it. And we all know it can be repaired. Like, there's ways to do that these days. They can do it with everything. They do it with women's tubes being tied too. Some
I
of
will
them are
not-
reversible. And
I
then you
don't
can
know.
just reverse it when the guy's ready to have fucking babies.
I
Like,
will
it
not
makes
be.
more sense than
I-
going through all this shit.
Yeah, but if I walk around being snipped, how am I supposed to, posture to my friends that I'm alpha?
But if everybody's snipped, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, right.
If every male of age 10 years or older is snipped, it doesn't fucking matter. There is no prejudice. Everybody has it done. It's just how our society does it.
Yeah, true. All right. Anyway, what I'm thinking
yeah.
is like at some point we're going to end up running into this issue where I think to me the abortion issue in the United States is based on and most other places because the idea is that it's ugly so it must be evil kind of thing. But it seems to me that most of it's based on the fact that we don't have a good technological response to this issue, right? When we do, this is going to become less of an issue. Well, I think less of an issue for the majority of people. There's still going to be that minority of people that have been like, no, you can't let the baby zapper kill Jesus' chosen one. Like there's always going to be that goofball. Like, all right.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but for anybody else, they're going to be like, yeah, this is awesome. I've got this diaphragm in me. I can like hit a button and blap. I can hit a. Well, and here's the thing too. The other thing is that under a particular age, you can actually set it up like, okay, here's how it's going to work contractually. I want this set up so that, it's not going to allow me to get pregnant until I'm after the age of 21. And then after the age of 21, the only way it's going to allow me to get pregnant is if I physically allow it.
Right.
Right? So if a woman has that kind of control over her reproductive cycle, we would, ostensibly we would have to worry about, fewer and fewer abortions.
Yeah, but then you're relying on software. What if the software crashes and she gets pregnant by accident?
God damn it, Beck.
I'm just fucking around, man. I'm just screwing with you. I'm just screwing with you.
So
I think it's a better idea than most I've heard, honestly.
Yeah, so there's a power outage. She gets twins. What the fuck? Like, oh, god damn it.
God damn it. It's like the 70s all over again.
Like, oh, god damn.
You have big snowstorms. People would be trapped in their houses for 2 weeks. And what did they do? They had kids.
Yeah, she has no right. She has to raise those twins. She's going to dote on them hand and foot and make them pancakes every morning. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, look, I mean, like the last thing that I'll kind of say on the topic is, right, it wouldn't be just enough, okay, or it would be bad enough if they were just kind of going after the right to abortion, right? But this one is a little bit more kind of dangerous, and you'll see why. So Marsha Blackburn, US Senator, has proposed a plan wherein birth control should only be legal for married couples.
Yes.
Right? Now, that's one, right? And that, that's, as I said, like, that is bad enough. But, that is fucking terrible. But it's just like, if you can't be in a position where you simultaneously want to get rid of the laws surrounding abortion as it currently stands, and then also effectively ban contraception, because you know what I mean. Like you're going to be increasing the likelihood that people are going to get pregnant. And why would it only be for married couples anyway? Isn't that what they say? That isn't what that area of people think that's what marriage is for anyway, is for reproduction. Why would you legalize it for them?
You're only supposed to have sex to reproduce.
Yeah, so why would you legalize contraception for them? It doesn't make any sense. Surely you would want to...
I want to say there's a reason for that. There's a Christian reason for that. Marriage justifies sexual activity, so birth control is only justified within the boundaries of a married relationship. So if a married couple wants to prevent getting pregnant, that is fine. That's what they're doing.
That's fucked up, because they're only supposed to want to have sex to procreate and for no other reason. So
maybe, but according to some of these other denominations, they have the ability to choose. Whereas the single person that goes out and has a good time and maybe has a few drinks and decides to hook up with a handsome stranger does not.
Okay.
It's fucked up. Christians don't... Yeah. I mean, the best thing about this whole thing is
Christianity.
I remember back in the aughts, there was this weird... you can look this up. There were a couple Newsweek articles on it. I think there were a couple Time magazine articles on it, where there were certain evangelical groups that were actually embracing like sex consultants, right? To deal with the fact that a lot of these mainstream Christian churches could not they couldn't handle dealing with like sex issues. They were completely backward on it. They just didn't know what to do, right?
Right.
So they did all they could, and they came up with some pretty progressive ideas. And they wrote some pretty progressive books in the early aughts. And now they apparently have completely abandoned them. Because they don't elicit authority. Oh. That's the important thing about what's happening here. And that's what I thought when I first read them. I'm like, that's not going to be enough. That's just liberal Christian bullshit. That's leaving
Right.
things up to people, and that's not what Christianity is about. Real Christianity is about telling people you need to get in line with Jesus' plan or you need to get the fuck out. That's ultimately
There you
what Christianity is about. It doesn't matter how liberal it is or how conservative it is. You need to get on Jesus' plan or you need to fuck off. And any Christian that tells you otherwise is fucking lying to you.
Agreed.
And all these assholes that are trying to say, like, oh, and we've got a progressive sexual view about Christian. No, you do not. There is no progressive progressive Christian view of human sexuality. It does not exist. I've watched them. I have been observing them for the last 30 years. They have never had a progressive view on it. Never. And they fucking never will, because that's not how Christianity works.
Yes, yeah, how their shit works, exactly.
Yeah. Christianity works on gender roles and maintaining those relationships through biblical narratives. That's it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Fuck them.
No, thank you.
There was there was one more there. So, an Arizona GOP Senate candidate, and let's fucking pray it stays that way, calls for condoms to be banned in all states. It's like, you know what I mean? So, Marsha's one, yeah, okay. She's wanting to ban it, but not for married couples. No. This fucking lunatic wants to ban it for everybody.
That guy,
in all states. And it's
he watched a documentary about Genghis Khan and was like, I got an idea. This is how I make sure my seed spreads throughout the land forever. Yeah. I can't imagine. There's no reason why you would ever do that. Why would you do that?
I mean, like, I did a TikTok video on that tweet, and like the amount of people in the comment section were saying, like, this is just like a real life Handmaid's Tale, and they're not wrong.
Yeah.
They're not they're not wrong. You know, it's I don't know, man. It's just, how can you be like, aside from the fact that, okay, if you ban condoms, right? Aside from the kind of obvious one, in the context of the conversation that we're currently having, right? Aside from that, I mean, just even just take into account, like, even just one of the other side effects that banning of condoms would do, like, the fucking STD rate is going to go through the roof, you know, and that's not because, you know, I mean, people are gross, or you're just going around, you know, I mean, like, and riding people who have been off riding it, you know, a different fella every hour for the past week. It's nothing even got to do with that. It's just that STDs exist, and the reason why they're not spreading as much as they could be is because of condoms. So take them out of the equation, and they're just, you know, they're gonna fucking spread like COVID. Yep. It's gonna be all over the fucking place. It's just, oh yeah, you know, it's like, oh my fucking god! I mean, like, having condoms to like to 99% effective against spreading AIDS, isn't that like they're like ridiculously effective at stopping you from getting AIDS? You know, and like, we don't have a fucking cure for AIDS, and it still fucking kills people, and you want to ban the thing that stops them to such a high success rate from contracting a literally deadly virus. What the fuck is wrong with these morons?
Christians think that AIDS is a gay man disease. It doesn't affect them.
Well,
so
prophylactics.
Anybody has AIDS in the Christian world, they are automatically like gay. So they're horrible people. They don't care about them. They don't understand that their kids are going to end up with it.
And they think that prophylactics are a license to have as much sex as you want without worrying about the consequences of quote unquote having them kids.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just,
Stephen, have you ever been to the United States?
I have, but it was a very long time ago. As in, George Bush was still president the last time I was in the States. So, it was a long time ago. I missed Obama entirely. And I didn't want to go when Trump was president because, well,
no.
So yeah, it was just
Stephen, You need to let me know the next time you want to come over here. I will host you. I will help you out. I will walk you hand in hand, and I will show you how much more fundamentally fucked up this country has become. It is
Yeah, I mean,
It's weird that under Biden, like, we are still feeling the effects of
yeah.
like the Christian fascists. It's weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you're going to, because unlike, we'll say, when Obama took over from Bush, there wasn't this kind of level of conspiracy theory and of doubt in the voting process. There wasn't
Right.
there wasn't such a large percentage of the opposite party thinking that the voting was rigged and that Biden is an illegitimate president. So there's still a lot of people that are kind of kicking up a fuss about this. I mean, I'll see on Twitter every other month that they found the missing votes and Trump is going to be back in office by this date. I think the first one that I saw was like July last year, and the latest one that I saw is August. So there we go. And that'll go on for 4 years. I don't know if Trump is planning on running again. He probably will. But if he ends up getting in,
he's gonna try.
If he ends up winning in 2024, I mean, like, I don't know what these people who say that Trump is still actually the president. Like, okay, so all of the things that you're blaming Joe Biden for are actually Trump's fault. They get very silent when you point that out.
Yeah, they don't like that, buddy.
Yeah, but it's like all of the people who think that Trump is still president now, okay, if you've been president for 2 terms, then how is he possibly getting a third one? Because that rule hasn't changed in the last, since Trump took office. Since Trump's very first day in office, that rule...
They were trying to get changed.
Well, yeah, but they didn't succeed, is what I'm saying. So if
Right,
you
but
kind
they
of
don't
show
care
to them
because
this
they
rule
want it
hasn't
that
changed, how can you possibly say that he has...
I know.
It's like, there's just no fucking reasoning with these people. They're like, they don't.
It's
What I mean?
conservatives being jealous of FDR because FDR got 3 terms and he was a progressive liberal. And they're just like, God damn it, we will have
sure,
ours.
they wrote the fucking rule on term limits. Literally, it was Republicans that brought in term limits because they were afraid of another FDR-like president coming along, and they wouldn't have power for another fucking decade. Like, it's just, I mean, like, it's. They literally caused this, like.
But it's weird that current ones just keep recycling that fascination that, FDR had 3 terms. Like, we need our guy to have 3 terms. And it's like, that's a violation of the Constitution that you set up.
Yeah.
If you want that, it's going to violate the rules, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's about, like, most of the stuff that happens with conservatives is about equal. It's tit for tat scorekeeping bullshit. Like, most of these guys are just complete assholes, and I know I used to be one of them. I was a complete and total conservative asshole. I believed in the idea of eradicate. Well, it doesn't matter. But actually, back when I was a conservative asshole, it was mostly fiscal policy. Most of this conservative stuff, the social stuff, I didn't have a stake in. I had no idea. Like, in fact, at the time, one of the things that got me out of the conservative mold was the social stuff. I was like,
right.
I don't want this kind of tax policy. I don't want this kind of like thing going on. And then somebody would be like, yeah, your party is actually coming after me because I'm a lesbian and I'm married to my wife. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? And that
I'm
was
sorry, I must have misunderstood you. I thought you just said.
No, like, if you had told me that you were a lesbian and you were married and the 2 of you paid more in taxes, I would have been like, that's stupid. And then you're like, yeah, we're not actually allowed to engage in that relationship in order to pay those taxes. So, because Republicans, and I was like, okay, I think I might actually be in the wrong group here because I don't think they're actually paying attention to what's actually going on.
Right.
I mean, that was the beginning of the end for me. That was the only advantage to being a libertarian in a Republican world. Libertarians were always the ones where like, yeah, no, I don't. I want lower taxes and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, well, that guy's on cocaine. I'm like, well, God bless him. And all the Republicans were like, shame. And as a libertarian, you're just like, do a handstand, bud. I mean, libertarians were just insane. Now, libertarians and conservatives and Republicans seem to be united in this idea that, like, yeah, we need to make sure that the entire country is, well, I don't know if there are actually any libertarians. Most of the libertarians that I know of that would be in that camp are just fascists.
Really?
They want revenge. They want revenge against the government. And vengeance is a fucked up goal. They want that. They want that more than anything. And those sons of bitches, they're gonna get it. And yeah, we need to get ready for that, because that motivation, revenge, for politics' sake, yeah, it's gonna get dark.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're probably right. It just amazes me how much religion can fuck people up, and yet everybody says it's so great. I
awesome
just
for you.
don't
Yeah.
understand how you could look at the world around you, who treats who which way, and everybody that's like the Karens that are racist and the Kens that are racist, they're all like, I believe in God. They always say that. I don't give a fuck. You're just proving me right. Shut up about the God thing. We're talking about you being a racist right now.
I can only point out, like, the one thing out of religion that I've ever run across that I've liked. Yeah. There's a Buddhist concept of the idea of human existence, and that is the notion that we are a wave.
Right.
And a person is a wave, and you can identify that wave, and you can watch it grow. You can watch it build, and you can watch it crash. You can watch it dissipate.
Right.
But the one thing that the wave was water. And it just dissipates back into the water that was the wave before. And I always thought that concept of what humanity was as a soul, especially what an individual was as a wave, was actually kind of informative, because I think more people probably need to look at that. Like, you're only here for a limited amount of time, and while you're here, you have an effect on everybody around you. And while you do, you should probably take account of the effect that you have around you. And when you check out and you go back from being a wave back into being, just part of the water, what effect did you have? Were you the wave that, like, fucked up somebody's beach house, or were you the wave that guided some, especially if you got some consciousness, you were the wave that guided some baby sea turtles back out gently into the sea, got them started on their life. To me, that just seems like a better way of looking at things. The idea that I'm living this life to win a prize from a coach. I don't think that that's a healthy. That's not a good motivation.
No, I agree with you. Surely isn't.
Yeah, I think the idea of understanding, like, you're here in a transitionary period, and as you're in this period, you have an opportunity to make an influence on the people and the lives around you. And the best thing that you can do, is to enhance the love that those people can feel about themselves and you and the people around them, and spread that, in the limited amount, in this small chance that you have to transmit that message. You need to get that message across before you transpire. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just put in the chat there that we were going to round up fairly soon, because I am exceptionally high and I'm starting to get very tired. So,
sorry.
Same.
Sorry, Stephen.
Just so, like, is there any other kind of, like, smaller topics, like, we'll say, that's happened in the last little while that I haven't had the chance to comment on, that, like, You know, like, or that like you guys haven't had the chance to comment on that you would have wanted to.
Small
I got
ones?
nothing right now.
No, I
Yeah.
think we hit the big ones. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there was a few more things that I was kind of wanting to talk about, but like just don't have didn't have the chance to. I suppose I still could, but I would be very very tired at the end of it.
Steven, can you list them? Can you just list them? Just read them off. I'm curious. We don't have to get into them. We don't have to talk about
I was going to be talking about a potential new podcast that I'm starting. I was going to be talking about Elon Musk and the stuff that's after coming out about him in the last couple of days.
Nice.
And there was one other that I am completely blanking on right now. There was a Jubilee video that I was wanting to react to, but Jesus Christ, a reaction starting that now, that could last about an hour. So,
Yeah.
No.
It's true.
Well, you could save all three of those reactions for the next 3 videos.
Yeah,
Right.
well, definitely the next one anyway. So that was something else. I'm going to try and stick. I had originally said that I was going to do a Wednesday, Friday stream night. That I was going to do a stream on those 2 nights. I obviously haven't for the last little while for various reasons.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely going to try and stick to that schedule of a stream on Wednesday and on Friday.
Cool.
Because yeah, those are, you know what I mean, like they're well, I mean, they're good nights for me. There's not really kind of too much else happening like in the community sort of stuff on those nights, so yeah, it'll just be
Well,
a nice way.
actually, Stephen, I will say that student Dr. Ben on his Twitch does trivia night every Friday night.
Okay.
And so that's tonight in 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and go and get my shit together. So I'm ready to stream with him. But I
problem.
appreciate you having me on, man. Good talk.
No problem. Well, look, I mean, like that's obviously probably just like a time zone thing, but I mean, like I would kind of like roughly be kind of wrapping up right around now anyway. Like
Right.
I usually kind of do like roughly kind of like a 3-hour stream. It's very very rare that it'll kind of go on for longer than that. But
You guys should come over sometime and do trivia with us.
oh
It's a
yeah,
blast.
absolutely. Some other time that I have like some time off work or whatever, and I don't need to be up at early, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
I'll
man.
be over there.
You're welcome as well, Jeff. Always.
Thank you.
All right. You guys take care. It was nice chatting with you. Everybody in the chat. I can't see it, but have a good night. Peace out.
See you, Beck.
Thanks, Beck. Yeah, so look, I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of wrap it up right there. But look, there's a little preview for what I'm going to be covering in the next stream, anyway. Thank you so much to everybody who has showed up, who is watching, who's been commenting along. Go ahead and like, subscribe, do all of that YouTuber bollocks, and we shall talk to you in the next one.
Will do.